9 cycles have passed. When the gods deem mortals too powerful, they decree a race between their avatar and the mortals to determine their worth. In the race, the mortals are granted a chance to engage the very gods themselves. The mortals are granted a chance of survival. The mortals are granted a chance to become gods. Lose and see all mortal life removed from the Kryn, and the next cycle begins. This race is the final command of the gods to their mortal counterparts. This is their dying order.
Hello! I forgot that the intro was running and we were having a very interesting talk about Pocket's vegan lifestyle techniques that she is releasing now on the internet in weekly podcast format at www.pocketsveganlifestyle.
Let me stop you there. You never make up websites because they always end up being real.
They're going to be real. They're going to go to it and be like, what the fuck? Pockets vegan website.
We were doing that. I have an actual story. I was this is when I worked in the game industry, and we were doing that in a work chat, and then one of them ended up being a really, really hardcore porn site. And our boss came out like, and you're done. Yeah. All of you are done.
Oh, yeah. I have a pretty horrific story like that, but I'm not going to tell it right now. Remind me and I'll tell horrific. You. I'll say it on my own stream. I'm not risking it here. It's a truly horrendous story. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tablestory's Dying Order. We've been away for 2 weeks due to all sorts of chaos and nothing really going right in the year 2020, and everything is madness. But we're back. We're here, and we're going to continue with our story. Just a quick update on the rules, because the rules are really important. Just to let you know that all of you can do what you want. I don't care. I don't care about the rules, and I just want to state once again at the beginning that I don't really run D&D. We're playing D&D 5e kinda, but really I'm just using it. I'm using it as a blueprint to create whatever I want. So somebody left a pretty hardcore complaint about the fact that I didn't know exactly how the offhand rule works. And I didn't even look it up. I still don't know how it works, because I'm going to prove to you that you don't need to know how it works to run a D&D game and have fun with your friends. So, with that said, you can all use your offhands to do whatever you want, okay? Just do it in your own private time. And we're going to dive straight in, because it's been 2 weeks, and you have... So time is actually passing in real time in the game. So you're actually 2 weeks behind... and the world is ending. Imagine if I did that. That would be awful.
Yeah, that'd be horrific.
You don't show up, the world ends. Yeah, so we're just going to jump on in, if that's okay with this Biarrix.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready.
Okay, just check.
I mean, I'm ready.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Bo. Quick reminder of what's happened so far, just to get your memories activated once again. You all entered the door that was associated with Aura, and Aura's kind of area of the boundary that you were sharing. You immediately encountered a being that was called Shaundacol, that you've kind of likened to a giant goose, who flew you to a very muddy kind of plain area with no creatures or things or anything. You landed and were told to guard a sapling which grew into a massive tree after you defended it from these creatures, which came straight out of Nocturne, called Briar's Children. They canonically are Briar's Children from Nocturne, in a very, very obscure and very weird crossover event. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. The tree grew into an enormous thing, and around it there was a huge forest. The tree revealed itself to actually be an embodiment, or the god Lathander, which is a god of life and sunshine and newness and spring. You interacted with this god who was kind of planning for what sounded like some sort of party later on. This god provided you sort of a place to rest for a little while when suddenly that creature returned, Shaundakal, the giant goose creature, and said that you have to go because you have to go to summer now. So you left Lathander and Spring behind, jumped back onto the back of Shaundakal, and I think Lathander said Spring breathes new life into the world around us when you were flown away, whisked away to the next kind of area. You were flown for some time. Bo fell off the back of the giant goose and was plucked out of the air and traveled for the majority of the journey inside the goose's mouth. When you arrived at the area, you were kind of spat out into the water nearby. The rest of you had a relatively soft landing. And pretty much that's where we pick up today as we return. Each of you are dropped off at a beach. Around you, the sun is shining. It's warm. It's not uncomfortably hot. But it's certainly much warmer than it was previously. There's a definitive kind of heat to the area. There's a light breeze, and clear, clean sand all around. You can see in one direction a blue ocean, pretty much as far as you can see in that direction. There is a huge expanse of beach land around you and sand. There are trees and rocks, and there are small islands that you can see nearby. But the area that you are on appears to be kind of an endless beach, really, that stretches out, let's say, east and west of you. The three of you that are on the beach and aren't kind of swimming towards the shore probably notice that nearby-ish behind you, you can see that there is an expanse of land with what looks like sort of lush, fertile greenery. No houses or anything like that, but lots of plant life and things that sprawl over a plains. And then at the edge of that, there's a forest, and a pretty large one, that seems to stretch out endlessly in either direction as well. And then beyond that, you can see in the distance a snowy mountaintop pretty far away from where you are. As each of you three that were placed more carefully on the beach turn back around, Shaundakal lifting off into the sky and flying back the way that you came from and not another direction. You can see Bo probably pulling himself up out of the water and walking, I think we said like Daniel Craig in the Bond movie, towards where you guys are. Here is a little map. This was actually drawn by Jack Lack for us. This is an actual almost commissioned fan art, because Jack came to me and said, hey, since we have 2 weeks off, can I draw something for you? What about the beach? Do you want to describe it to me? So I gave him the information of what the beach actually looks like around where you are, and Jack actually drew this background piece. So it's not just a fan art thing necessarily this time, it's actually a thing that I can use here as a depiction of the area that you are. And this is pretty much what you can see here. The three of you turn towards where Bo is. You probably see a little crab scuttle across the sands in front of you. It stops underneath a single lone palm tree. The crab kind of holds its claw up. For a moment you think maybe as if it's greeting you, and then it scuttles away again and heads towards the water where you can see Bo dripping wet, beard sopping wet, glasses dangling kind of awkwardly off of his face as he's pulling himself and his loot out of the water. Probably you can use your own ridiculously overtly powerful abilities with water now to literally dry stuff as well, because you can just remove water and fling it off. So you can dry your beard and dry your hair and whatever. You're a hairdryer in the sense that in an inverted way you can control water, right? You can remove it to a degree too. So probably you can see Bo moving his hands and the water being removed from his items as he steps up onto the beach. Yeah, there's other trees around. There's areas of the beach that have rocks and trees on. But where you are specifically, there's really only this single palm tree. Oh, in the distance, some forestry and plains lands beyond where you are. But it's quite calm here, and it doesn't seem to be like really anything happening, just a lazy beach. So what do the four of you do?
Well, this is nice.
I know, but I run towards Bo because he's just sopping wet. He got dropped out of Shanikal's mouth into the water. Bo, are you okay?
Oh, I'm great. I take that Aura's coming towards me. I'm drying myself off with my water ability. But as I do that, I also start removing some of my clothes, considering it is very hot here. And well, what more appropriate? I start sporting my mankini.
Oh!
I'm ready.
I'm like amazed by the
Glistening.
water like wicking away from his body, but then get kind of weirded out when his clothes start being removed. Okay. I'm glad you're okay.
Glistening pectorals there, Bo.
Oh, thank you.
Looks great.
It is kind of hot, and I have my like long ranger coat on, but I just kind of touch it instead of taking it off, just because I feel like I shouldn't.
Well, I'm gonna take mine off. This coat that was your mother's. I'll put it in my backpack though. I won't leave it here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I never take mine off. I don't know. I'm slowly getting more and more overheated as each
You're
moment
gonna give
passes.
yourself heat stroke.
I mean, sure, it'll be fine. It'll be fine, right?
Probably not.
Yeah, I'll see. I'll just wear it for a little bit longer.
Right? Sure. Sure.
Where do you think we have to go?
I think the mountain over there, quite the trek in this this heat. Although I must say I wouldn't mind sitting on the beach here for a minute. Put my toes in the sand.
Might be kind of nice.
I think you'd see Ellie just walking towards the mountain.
Oh,
Just like she's in all black, but now she has like just sand everywhere.
What's
And
the
in the
rush?
middle of the sun.
Ellie, I think we're gonna sit for a minute. Recover.
Is there a tree like nearby that she can sit under?
There's the one palm tree that sits, and there's a area of shade that you could easily sit underneath the palm tree in.
I think you'd hear her like grumble, and then she'd just walk over to the tree and sit down.
Yes, well,
This is definitely not her scene. So.
It's better than the underworld, right?
Like look up at you, and the look would just be one of those like.
I mean,
this
I guess.
is her underworld.
Oh, that's true.
Right, well, I'm going for a swim. Just a quick one.
Me too.
I'll keep lookout.
I just drop my backpack and take a couple layers off and start heading in with my walking stick. Woo!
I'm like the mom at the beach who kind of gathers all the stuff, and I'm going to bring it underneath the palm tree, and I'll sit down underneath the palm tree and bring all of Suna's stuff with me and set it nicely next to the palm tree.
Are you sure you don't want to come in, Aura?
I'm good.
It's so refreshing.
No, I mean, I'm not wearing a swimsuit or anything, and I don't have stuff
Well, you
that
don't need a swimsuit.
Yeah, you can go
need a
naked.
swimsuit. I'm not
They don't-
complaining.
they don't know it, but I'm thinking about my tail.
Yeah.
So I just sit. No, I'm good for right now. I'm all right. Thank you, though.
Do you
I
have
mean, maybe,
oceans where you're from?
No, just some lakes, some rivers.
Well, I don't think you have many opportunities to swim in an ocean.
Maybe I'll walk in it. I'll stand up and
Just
start
come wade in a bit.
roll up my pants, which are also very long, take my boots off, and then just kind of stand by the waves. And I've
Isn't
never
this
been to an
nice?
ocean. This is beautiful. Have you been to the ocean before?
Once or twice, but it's not like this.
What about you, Ellie, Bo?
Absolutely not.
Well, considering I never knew how to swim before, but because of my new abilities, well, I can appreciate it more. And I just run back into the water and start swimming and start making little waves in the water.
I totally surf on those waves. Or, I mean, body surf.
Be honest, I just imagine Bo like Flipper,
Yeah.
Swimming around like Flipper.
Bo can probably swim really quick now, realistically, because it's not necessarily that you use your arms and legs, but you can maneuver the water around you to just push yourself along, kind of like
I
flying
would imagine
underwater.
he's swimming
yeah.
like a dolphin. He's even like jumping
Yeah.
like a dolphin in the water.
Yeah.
Well, wild, Bo. Lovely. That smell is very nice, right, Aura? That salt.
It is. I don't think I've ever smelt it before.
I don't think it doesn't have that smell on lakes, right?
No, it's
Only
more like
ocean?
pond scummy.
Yeah. Mildew.
Yeah,
Right.
It smells fresh.
Yeah.
And I like kind of
Tangy almost.
kick the sand around a little bit and look around just to see if I notice anything.
Roll
Different?
me the 20.
Okay.
I would also like to shell hunt.
Plus 3 is let's see here. No, plus 6 is what you get for that.
Okay.
You kick the sand up, and do you have your boots on, or have you taken them off?
I like hastily took them off and threw them underneath the palm tree.
Yeah, you kick something, then it stubs your toe.
Ah, oh my god!
Are
I'm
you
just gonna
all
fall down
right?
dramatically onto my knee.
Are you all right?
Ah, yeah. I
Does
don't.
someone need to pee on you?
I kicked something.
I
And I'll
did
start- I don't think I need to be peed on. Let me.
You
I'll start
didn't get
digging.
stung by anything.
I don't think so. Did I get stung, Brandon?
No, it's like there was something there, like a rock maybe.
I'm gonna dig through the sand as I'm like on the
Well,
ground.
don't let it sting you again.
I don't think it was something that stung me. It was just a hard piece of something in the sand.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
all right.
it's actually wooden, and it looks like the corner of a chest or a box.
Wait,
What
don't-
do you have there?
I'm gonna start digging frantically because it looks like a chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a little while. You realize that there is a half buried chest
Well,
in
I'll
the
just
sand.
cast a cantrip. I'll just dig it out.
Yeah, it's about halfway to the water from the palm tree, so you can probably all see it regardless of where you are. You can see that it was buried quite deeply in the sand. The corner of it was kind of at an angle, poking up slightly out of the top. Suna comes over and starts to cast the move earth or move sand cantrips that she was using in Dust Vale, and you see that it slowly unveils and lifts the chest upwards. It looks like a very old chest. Doesn't look very ornate. Pretty standard looking wooden chest. No metal buckles or anything like that. Even the clasps and stuff seem to be kind of made out of a strange shaped wood. There isn't anything that's locking it closed or anything, and as the thing is pulled up out of the sand, it's a small-ish chest, maybe a foot long.
Oh, well, look at that.
Covered in sand.
I read about like buried treasure. Is this a buried treasure?
Well, I'd say so. Why don't you open it and find out?
And is there a latch or a lock or anything on it?
No, but it looks like you can lift the top.
I'll just lift the top.
Yeah, you lift it and actually it kind of pops open. Like as you begin to lift it, it's almost like something pushes the top open. The top rolls open and inside there is nothing other than a single rolled piece of parchment.
Oh, there's a piece of paper in here. I always thought there was like mounds of gold or something like that.
Oh, well, I guess treasure is dependent on the person, right? Maybe this is someone's prized possession. Maybe it's a love letter.
Ooh, and I'll reach in and unroll the piece of paper.
Yeah, you unroll it and it's kind of the page is tough. As you unfurl the thing, it's almost like it's tough from salt or age, as it almost cracks open at first and then unfurls to reveal a very simple looking map. On there you can see the a beach. You can see the palm tree. You can see chest, and you can also see a little red X located on there too.
It's a map, but
A map?
you know, like X marks the spot, but it's in the water.
A treasure map?
I'm in the water, am I? Therefore,
Yeah.
the treasure?
Bo, do you think you could help us find this treasure? I mean, other than yourself, of course.
Oh, you're too kind.
You are the
Well,
best treasure in the ocean right now.
I mean, okay, just tell me if I'm getting warmer or colder.
A little bit more to your right.
Okay.
And then come forward a bit.
All right.
No, wait. Back up.
Oh, back
Yeah,
up.
yeah, right there.
Right here.
That's right, Aura.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like.
It
yeah,
looks
if
about
you're-
right. Because the tree's right there. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Try
that
right
looks
there.
good. Yeah, you just gotta like move all the water and then see if there's
Okay.
something there.
Yes.
Okay. So like when Moses parted the Red Sea, I start doing that with the water,
Holy shit.
and only to just reveal the sand and make a path for anybody who was curious to see what this is.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll get used to that, Aura. That's some magic.
He was like, the water was evaporating off of him when he came out of the water earlier. It was crazy.
It's wonderful. Very powerful stuff.
You
Glad he's on our side.
You see him part the water, and Bo, as you do so, and you look down into the area that you've moved apart, maybe it takes you a moment to kind of look around just exactly where this X might be located. When eventually you catch a flash of color, there's something that looks like red fabric, and when you head over or look towards where that is, you actually notice that there is a skull in the sand with a red bandana around its head. In fact, everyone give me history checks. Everyone has advantage except for Suna.
$12.
A
12.
natural 20.
17,
Wow.
17 and 20.
Well, it is
So-
your world. I'd be surprised if you didn't know.
Actually, you all recognize that the red bandana has a skull and crossbones on it, and it's just a bandana that you all recognize as belonging to famed pirates that accost the harbors of Alexandria. Mostly, you will find that they wear these red bandanas with these skull and crossbones on. And they're constantly hitting ships, trade ships and the like. And the skull on the sand there doesn't seem to do anything. It doesn't seem to be attached to anything, and there doesn't seem to be anything else around it, though.
What is this? What is that?
I pick up I pick it up. It's a skull.
Oh.
Is that a skull? Wait, is it a pirate? Okay, so the buried treasure, is this like a...
I don't think
Pirates?
I mean, that's someone's head.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of heads lately.
This one belonged to a person.
Yeah. Is there a body, Bo?
Nope, not that I'm seeing. This is all I was able to find.
I wonder why they would mock that. Is there something special about this skull?
Can I examine it?
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
Maybe he was their leader.
Maybe there's something under the bandana?
Nothing really special about this skull. It looks like a pretty average-sized human skull. There isn't like tiefling horns or anything like that. But it's hard to tell whether it's a human or an elf, maybe. It doesn't look small, so it probably isn't a halfling or a gnome or something like that. It doesn't have like a wide top part, so it's probably not anything other than most likely an average humanoid skull. Someone probably exactly what you might expect to find from an Alexandrian pirate. Nothing weird about it though, apart from the fact that it still has the bandana on.
Maybe a dig underneath him? Maybe there's something underneath his head?
Not
a bad idea.
Una, are you guys still on like shore?
Yeah, we're wading in the water, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I would walk up beside you guys by now, because
Yes, Ellie, look at this. It's a human skull
And a treasure map.
with a bandana and an actual treasure map.
you probably need to
Unbelievable.
dig. I mean, they're not gonna just have that just sitting out.
I'm gonna start digging from where the skull was.
Oh, don't worry about that, Bo.
Nope.
I'm gonna do my cantrip again, move earth, but I'm trying to make it look as fancy as when Bo parted the sea. It's not going to look as fancy, but I am trying to move the earth and lift up. Let me just try that.
Oh.
Roll me a performance check.
I take a step back.
It's I think you know that you can do better, but you've never maybe done it before, and you kind of try and make it look fancy, but the sand is all wet and sticking together, so it doesn't like it would look probably quite nice with the clean dry sand, but with the wet sand it kind of starts to fling around a little bit, but mostly it looks impressive as you clear some of this sand up, revealing the area underneath where the skull was, but there doesn't appear to be anything else there as you move parts of this earth around.
How does it look, Bo?
No, there's nothing here.
Oh.
Where is the skull, Bo?
In my hand.
Okay.
It's not going to start talking to me, is it?
No, but it does start speaking to Ellie.
Yeah.
As Ellie gets closer and closer and starts watching all this stuff happen, Bo, you're maybe unconsciously watching this thing happen, and then your hand, you don't even notice as the skull turns around in your hand and looks at Ellie and says,
"Hey, what do you want?"
Oh. Can we all hear it?
No.
Okay.
And also Bo doesn't realize, but he's like making its mouth move like this. So it kind of looks a bit like Bo's doing this to you, but at the same time, you see Bo kind of talking to Sauna saying, hey, I don't know where there's nothing there or whatever. So you get the sense that it's not Bo doing it.
Do I have a feeling it's because of my connection to the undead now?
Absolutely.
Okay. I think I would try to walk up to Bo if I could. Can I?
Yeah,
Because he parted the sea, right?
Yeah, he's like, you guys are all close enough. There isn't like a
Okay,
huge...
I think I'd walk up to him and try to grab the skull from him.
Well, I mean, without hesitation, I hand it over to Ellie.
And I'd sort of like put it up in front of my face. And I'd be like, okay, so who are you?
Hey, what does that matter? Who are you? You wake me up.
I mean, we're looking for treasure, I guess.
Man, what are you asking me for? Ask the damn crab.
Ask the crab. What crab? And I look back at Aura.
Is she talking?
She's talking to the skull. Are you okay? Did you have too much salt water, Ellie?
Wait, you can't hear this?
It might be heat
Talking
stroke.
to me right now.
I warned you about the stroking of the heat.
Yeah, maybe.
No, he's saying you need to ask the crab. You saw a crab, didn't you?
Yeah,
No.
I start
What?
looking around for the crab that waved at me.
And I think Ellie would just keep looking at the skull, just like, And
Hey,
who are
I'm
you?
tired. Come on, put me back to bed.
No. Who are you?
The skull stops speaking.
I chuck it.
Whoa!
I'll try to catch it.
Skull lands in the water.
Oh,
What? Why would you throw it? What?
He stopped talking to me.
that's rude.
He wanted to go back to sleep, apparently. You guys disturbed him.
Did you? Oh,
Said you need to ask the crab questions. I don't know.
Okay.
what crab?
There's a crab when we got dropped off. It kind of scurried away, and I'll start looking for the crab or look for the little. What do they call it? Little leg prints in the sand?
Yeah, little leg prints in the sand. Give me a perception check, or if anyone's looking, you can give me perception or survival checks, I guess, if you want to look for the crab or tracks or try and locate where it might be.
All right. I'll search in the water.
Damn, these rolls. 21, 15, 21, and 13. Bo, you're looking in the water and you're pretty convinced that the crab is not in the water. You do see the skull. The skull sinks to the bottom of the sand, and as it hits the sand at the bottom of the water, there's a moment where you're not sure, but it looks a little like the skull smiles. You're pretty convinced there's no crab in the water here. The rest of you can all see the crab hanging from the top of the palm tree, kind of upside down, hanging from one of the palm leaves. As each of you spots the crab, it waves a claw towards you.
Is that waving at us?
I cautiously wave my hand back at it, or I think it's. Why is it up the tree?
I don't
Probably
know.
talks
I
too.
don't
You should try
know.
talking to it. I bet hopefully it's not as mouthy as that skull was.
Talk to it.
Yeah,
Hello, crab.
What? We're not. Oh,
Hello.
Do we all hear that?
Yes.
See, I told you. See, you guys should listen to me more.
I suddenly
crab.
feel very naked. There's a ranger here.
Can you help us, little crab?
Well, yes, I can. What a silly game.
The crab suddenly starts scuttling down the palm tree and moving across the sand towards you, speaking. When the crab speaks, you can hear like a small voice coming from the crab, as if the crab is moving a tiny little mouth speaking to you. But there's an element of the crab's voice that comes at you from around as well that gives it an enhancement. You can hear it quite clearly regardless of its size and the fact that it's moving towards you. And as it's moving towards you, it's kind of just moving its arms very blasé. You can see tiny little eyes looking at you from the crab as it moves across the sand towards you. The crab says,
There's no need for a difficult trial. You can relax. It's, summer. It should be fun and relaxing.
Well, aren't
Really
you
hot.
adorable? Sorry.
I mean, he is adorable. Wait, what's your name?
She, thank you.
Sorry.
My name is Shantia.
Sorry, I called you a he, Shantia.
That's okay. Are you prepared for the harvest?
I mean, I know how to do farming, and I can help with a harvest. What kind of harvest are we doing?
Well, that depends what you want, I suppose.
crab turns around and points a large claw towards where the fields are and says,
Onwards towards the forest, there's fields of wheat and barley and oats and rye and fruits, or what is it you like to eat? Vegetables?
Yes.
Yes.
Vegetables. lots of vegetables on the way, so you can harvest those things and eat them. You eat, right?
Yes.
Yes. There you go.
Okay, so we just gotta go help with the harvest then. Is
No,
that what
no,
we're supposed?
you need nourishment, right?
Are we the harvest?
What?
What?
Oh, I don't know. In my mind, I mean, I just talked to a skull. I thought maybe we were gonna be the harvest.
No. You need nourishment. You're looking pale and weak. You should eat. It's autumn. Autumn and the trials of autumn. You need nourishment for the trials of autumn. That's right.
Right.
What the hell is he talking about?
She.
Are you on drugs?
What? No. Maybe.
Well, with all due respect, Ellie is just fine the way she is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't help
well,
it. I'm pale.
You okay. If you say so. Well, this is your last chance to relax, though. So rest and we'll move on to autumn when you want. Take your time.
The crab suddenly buries itself into the sand.
Right. Well,
Okay, I was
Well,
gonna
that
ask
wasn't
you-
foreboding at all.
right.
You guys need nourishment. And Ellie goes and sits back down at the palm tree.
Well, I think she said specifically you need nourishment.
I need nourishment? How am I gonna get nourishment? Look at
I don't
me.
know.
What do you eat?
For some reason, she thought you needed to be stronger. To eat. I think it's because you know, the bags under the eyes and the whole sullen look.
Is this like a magical world? Maybe you can eat what's here.
I'm starting to feel attacked right now.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm just saying that I think it's because you look undead, you know, and then that's why,
I kind
know.
of feel it too.
right?
I'm gonna start making my way towards the edge of the forest.
I would take a rest or something. We already rested, right?
Yeah,
I
you're
would love
actually
to-
feeling pretty good, probably.
Oh, okay. Nah, then Ellie would get up and walk towards the forest as well. For some
I'm
reason, I thought we
standing
did
here
rest.
in my underwear. Could we just wait for 10 minutes? Can't we just enjoy the ocean for 10 minutes?
I got excited. I mean, like, I know how to do this stuff. If
And
it's like,
Ellie would be like, I need nourishment. And she would just walk.
I mean, you could try. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what's in the forest. Maybe there is something you can eat. Maybe there's like a blood tree or something.
I'm not a vampire.
I know, but I don't know what you might. Maybe there's something out there for you.
Maybe.
All right, but we best not let them go off on their own into the forest.
Huh? I'm a little slow
Playtime's
in the
over.
situation. I'm still in the water relaxing, so I come out of the water running out like Baywatch in my mankini. Oh, wait, wait, what? What's so funny?
Oh, you're just everything. The water is just, you know, it's like you're going in slow motion for some reason. I don't know
Do
if
it
you're doing
again.
that on purpose, but
Do it again.
It's good illusion magic, whatever it is.
But I just got out.
Do it again.
Just one more time. It really did look like you were coming in slow motion, and I almost heard this like sound.
Okay, I run back in the water,
Right.
and then I do over the Baywatch run coming out of the water, the ocean.
Yeah, give
Gee,
me,
it's
give
like
me a
he's moving in slow
performance
motion.
check. I want to see how,
I knew
see how
this was
good this looks.
21.
He looks so good, man. He looks so good. He actually looks kind of hot. Like, for old man Bo, like, he comes running out in this weird mankini, but actually, like, the sun hits him just right. His hair goes up behind him. He actually looks pretty good in the water there coming out.
Do
I think
see,
you
like,
see
the light?
even Ellie crack a smile, which does not happen very often.
Gem of the ocean right there. Well done, Bo. Well done.
It's like the light bounces off of you.
The water glistens and everything. It's
Glistening
really weird.
pectorals, yes.
It's very
All right.
weird.
I just go get dressed.
I'm weirded out now. I'm gonna walk.
I start dressing up too, I suppose.
Yeah, so you take a few moments to get dressed. The the sun continues to beat down here. There's no animals or creatures or anything. No crab that wanders in and out. After each of you gets changed, are you heading towards the edge of the plains here?
Yes,
Or fields?
I will collect maybe a small handful of seashells, and then yes, I will meander towards the edge of the forest.
You can do that, yeah. Yeah, you guys start moving towards the edge of the sands here. The sand eventually gives way to green grass. And as you head up and over the lip of where the edge of the beach is, does anybody look back?
I do.
You see a little crab waving at you.
I look back too, and I turn to Suna. Want me to catch that?
The crab?
Yeah, for dinner later.
No,
We can eat it.
no, I think that's a very special crab.
No, I think we should eat it. That's
why would that-
more reason.
No, you're not eating
It's
the
a
crab.
goddess.
What?
It's a goddess,
like
and we're not
seafood?
going to eat it.
The crab was talking to us. Do you just kill anything that talks to you?
Oh,
I mean, it's funny whenever Aura says that, Ellie just kind of like looks at her with like a blank expression, like, really? Do you just kill anyone that talks to you? Saying that to an assassin.
that thing can talk.
Yes, it was talking to us,
Just waving goodbye.
telling
What
us
if it gave you like magical powers if you ate it?
No, we're not eating the crab.
You know,
We're not eating the crab.
even if I was to entice you with maybe a slab of butter, although
Her name was Shantia.
Ooh. I've had crab
She
legs
has a
before. They're
name.
pretty good.
She has a name, Shantia.
Yes. Also,
don't get
also,
too attached now, Aura. It's
No,
Hey,
we're
Shantia,
not-
you think you taste well? We're debating it.
Tia is a deity, is she not? You
Oh,
can't
that's a
just eat a
goddess?
goddess.
what?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she's a goddess of the earth. You can't just eat her.
Okay, Aura, Suna, I think you both had some salt water.
I think you're overreacting here. I mean, we did kill, a god of death.
Yes.
Yeah, but that guy was trying to kill us back. Shantia was just waving at us as a little crab.
No, he wanted us to kill him. And that's all right. I'm okay with it. But I mean, what makes this different if we need food?
The crab does not want us to kill it. For starters.
No one ever wants you to really kill them, if we're being honest here.
Here's
I
the
should
thing.
know.
Okay,
Wow.
let me settle
Right.
this, all right? Once and for all. I turn to the crab. Can you talk?
The crab is really far away. It's like a tiny little thing just waving at you. Probably by the time you finish
It's like,
speaking, it's like burying into the ground and gone again.
Well, shit.
Oh, there goes dinner. Ellie
Did
just
you
turns
not
around and walks
listen?
away.
Shantia was saying there's crops and things to harvest. Lots
And
of food for us.
vegetables.
Vegetables.
Things that, we can eat without killing the crab.
I was swimming.
Right.
Well, now you know there's lots more food supposedly in the forest, so we don't need to kill the crab.
Okay, well, maybe there's more crabs on land.
You each turn away from the beach and head into the fields here, where you, when you start moving through them, you can see in the distance
wow.
that there's a forest. But as you start walking across the green grass, eventually you start moving into longer grass, and these fields give way to all sorts of crops, and these aren't like fields that a farmer would have produced crops in, so they're not like rows of food or anything like that. There's all sorts of unharvested or untreated crops and foods here. You start walking through wheat and oats and barley. There's also an abundance of summer fruits, so things like and vegetables. You can see that a lot of them are like perfectly ripe for the picking and fresh for the taking as well. Some of them you will have seen. A lot of them you won't have seen. It's not like you have, grocery stores and stuff. So a lot of these things
Wow.
are kind of exotic looking. Even if it's like a green bean, it might be really exotic looking to you, depending on where you're from or what you've seen. and each of you walk through patches of corn and green beans, peppers. There are melons.
What is
there
this?
are mangoes. There are these oddly sprouted-looking tropical trees inside of other groves of things. You can see papayas on there, pineapples, guavas. There are wild bushes covering everything with strawberries, vines with grapes on. And this is just spreading out ahead of you. You can walk through this, and this is what you will be walking through for maybe a few hours as you head towards the forest that you can see ahead of you. The sky above you remains clear. The sun is shining. It's still comfortably warm. And every so often you'll step into a stream of fresh, clean water. Looking around all of this food as well, those of you that don't eat begin to feel hungry as well. You get a weird rumbling in your stomach that actually makes you feel like you're kind of hungry.
Ooh,
I don't like that.
I don't like
Do
that
I?
either.
Yep, you too.
Oh, see, told you we should have got the crab. Now I'm hungry.
Well, let's eat some of this.
Wait, what?
Oh,
You are hungry?
yeah, I don't know. This is weird.
What? Okay, this isn't right. The fact that Ellie is hungry?
There's magic here.
Yeah.
Wait, do you sense it?
Well, I just mean if you're hungry,
That's true. I mean, I could eat.
that's not good.
Should we eat? What if we eat it and it's cursed?
That's what I'm thinking. Or what if no offense, Bo, but what if it's like, Faye? You don't want to eat what they give you.
Nope.
I'll crouch down and start inspecting the closest thing to me and see if there's anything abnormal about it since I grow.
Yeah, you can give me a nature or a survival check.
Okay.
Really eyeing those melons, though.
Right, they look so good. And also, what's that orange thing over there? I've never seen anything like that before. It smells, spicy almost.
6.
6. A lot of this stuff doesn't make any sense. There are summer fruits that you might recognize from BAME. But then there are all of these crazy exotic fruits that don't exist as far as you're concerned. Even in books and stuff, you might not have seen some of these things. The fact that they're all just here, just everywhere, there's so much of it, is crazy to you. You aren't sure what's going on, or whether it's good, whether it's bad. It looks real. Maybe grabbing one feels real. It seems like it's the real thing. If you grab something that you do recognize, like a blackberry or something, and you go, "Oh, what's that?" and you feel it, seems like the real thing. What's going on? Not sure. So Una, same thing. Trying to work out what.
Smell magical.
It looks. I mean, I haven't seen some of these things in real life before, but it looks normal.
Doesn't feel magical.
I'll crack. What did I pick up?
What do you want to have picked up? I think everything is like summer fruit. Or,
You said like a melon thing?
There's melons.
I'll have like a melon and I'll start. And I have like a small knife that I can maybe use to cut it open, or use my sword to cut it open to see what it's like inside.
It looks legit.
Well, that smells quite delicious.
I'll try it. And I'll start.
I'm going to try this spicy one.
Okay. And I'll cautiously take a bite of this melon.
It's the best melon you've ever eaten in your entire life.
Oh my god, it's so good.
This is so delicious and spicy. Very spicy.
Oh, it's so good. And I just start housing this melon. It's all over my face. Yeah,
I'm crying.
Try this.
I go to Aura and I take a melon from the bush, and then I start going to town.
So delicious.
The best.
Ellie, please.
Whatever you're eating is the best ever.
Ellie, you have to try this. I just want to see if you have the same reaction I do, because it's very spicy.
Why are you still eating if it's spicy?
I only had one bite and my nose, it's burning.
Find some
What?
water.
But it's
Here, just
really
have
good.
I'll crack off some of my melon and hand it to Una. This might help cut it. It's really,
Oh,
it's like
right.
sweet and it's juicy and it's like,
Oh,
If they're
that is
explaining
very
it, like,
delicious.
Ellie's tummy would be rumbling, but she'd just be like, "You all look like addicts right now."
I
I'm
don't
sobbing
think I can
profusely.
taste anything. This has no flavor. All of my tongue is gone.
I'd like to do a check to see if I can resist.
Oh, there's no charm happening. It's
okay.
just that for the first time for you specifically, you don't need food anymore, and actually food makes you sick almost. It's not good for you.
It doesn't taste very good
doesn't
usually.
taste good. It's for the first time probably since this curse really took its hold over you. The smell of this food, the look of it, the sense of it actually seems really appealing. Give me a you can give me a wisdom. Just give me a wisdom check, I guess. That's kind of probably the best one to go for. 22. It actually makes you feel... You don't feel like you're being enticed to eat it or anything like that. And actually it makes you probably for the first time since this curse took hold, makes you actually feel a little more human for the first time for a while. I think as you start to think about it, you see those guys eating, you get more of a sensation that actually this isn't some sort of trick or anything like that at all, and that this is legit food that you can eat. And if you want to try and eat some food and just enjoy some of these fruits or vegetables, this might be the last chance you'll ever get.
Well, then I would go to whatever Aura was eating, pick it up, and start to eat it. I'm not down for spice.
And it tastes good, and your body doesn't reject it. It doesn't feel when you guys are eating this stuff the same way it might when you're eating food. It doesn't seem to like fill you up. It just tastes nice. It's just enjoyable to just be able to eat food for the sake of eating it. It doesn't feel like it's doing anything in terms of like you're sitting and eating and you eat too much and you get overfed or anything like that. You can literally just eat some of this stuff. And as you guys do so, maybe you're walking along and you grab another thing and eat it as you're walking through some of these fields. You notice that there is more of the land around you coming to life. There are elements that you didn't notice before. There weren't any creatures here at first, but now you notice that there's a butterfly that floats across your vision for a moment. As you concentrate on the butterfly, it takes 2 seconds before you realize it's actually a pixie that flies quickly past and disappears into some vines. You realize that one of the trees that you were staring at actually has a face, and it kind of smiles a little bit towards you before the bark shifts and changes. You see, suddenly you start to see life appearing. In the distance, you see what might be a herd of horses or something running very far away from where you are. In the sky, you notice that there is birds and creatures around you. Suna, give me a perception check.
You think we could eat all these too?
14. I would like to try. Sure, I want to try everything I've never had before, and maybe even the blackberries. I really like blackberries.
do you see that?
Huh? What?
Suna
Like, did I know?
Suna sees something, but what do you see?
Well, do I see the face on the tree?
Yes. You can kind of see what you want. Basically, the thing, you couldn't see any life, and the more you eat and the more you become almost attuned to this area, you start to see that there's a lot of life here. There are creatures that seem to be living perfectly in harmony with the plant life and the area. Not loads, but it's not like teeming or anything, but you can see that there's lots of stuff now, and you can start to hear creatures and recognize that there are these things moving around. Or give me a nature check with advantage.
You see all that? Is this drugs?
It's not drugs. What you are witnessing are celestial beings. These are all celestial creatures, god-like or god-born or attuned in some way to sort of divine creatures, or they are creatures. They're not like gods necessarily, but they're celestial in nature, so that they're kind of God-touched in a way. Sooner you see an owl take flight. It looks at you, large eyes ringed in gold, before turning towards the forest and flying directly towards the forest that you guys are heading for. And as you've been walking, you notice that you're actually a lot closer to the forest than it seemed while you were picking at these fruits and eating these vegetables. And now you really feel a strange kinship with the land. Each of you feels an attunement almost to the area around you. You don't feel like an invader. You don't feel like you're being charmed. It doesn't feel like a negative thing, but you understand the land around you a little better now. You've come to feel more comfortable, maybe, however you want to determine that.
The most magical place I've ever experienced, Aura.
I know. And I'll slowly just keep taking bites of this melon.
This is your door. This is for you.
As Ellie's like eating, I'm just like gonna keep eating, but then I just look up and I'm like, man, my door sucks. And I just eat because I just feel so normal right now that it's like this feeling I haven't experienced since I got turned. So I'm just like eating.
I don't
not
know
even
how
paying
you
attention.
could ever leave this place.
I know. You'd have to be out of your mind to leave here.
I think I'm in agreement there, Bo.
I wouldn't mind getting fat here. And she sits, like Ellie sits down.
Oh, please, I don't think it's possible for you to get fat, Ellie.
Is Buns with me?
Yeah, Buns is having the time of his life.
Maybe we could stay here.
Then what of the rest of... Well... What about everybody that we left behind?
And would this even exist? I mean, isn't everything supposed to cease?
I look at each of them, and it's like a realization has come over her, Aura. All of us don't really have anybody, do we?
I mean, I have children.
Yeah, but you don't know where they are.
I do now.
Do you think that's why we were chosen? Because none of us at the time had any connections?
Well, my memories were taken from me, so maybe you're right. Maybe you're onto something there. Maybe I wouldn't have gone had I remembered. Seems
right,
a little
Bo.
backwards for me, but...
And Bo's right. I can't not save some of them. Some of the people I know.
Yes, what about Alvin?
Alvin and Plex, I don't know. You ever just get tired?
Oh, sweetie, yes. Very much so.
I'll just eat another bite of melon and look around. I think these are gods.
If you're lucky, maybe this is where you go when you die. It is your door, after all.
You don't think that's what happens when we die? Like we get what's behind our door? And I panically looked over at Ellie.
Well, I honestly don't know. I don't know what the trial is. I don't know. I don't know. But it's a nice thought.
I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't want to be stuck with Bubble Butt.
Right. Well, you might not be stuck with Bubble Butt. You know, you might defeat Bubble Butt and then, you can go anywhere. You're a water god, Bo.
Maybe we can rig it and we can all come here.
That would be very nice.
That I wouldn't mind.
Or we could just combine a little bit of everybody's.
Then we'd
Together?
probably just get Lacrin.
We'd just be roommates.
I wouldn't mind being roommates, I don't suppose. It's a
Well,
beautiful world you have here, Aura. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's coming from your mind or if it's just something from your blood, but it's beautiful.
I didn't expect this. I mean, after being in Beau's store and Ellie's, I didn't think my place would be like this.
Don't you realize how special you are? And how powerful you are?
I think with all of your help, I've slowly been realizing that, but I've never really felt that way.
You've got a lot of magic in you.
But my dad used to say,
Well, I say he's right.
my dad and mom would have loved it here. Like, this would have been their heaven. And I kind of start looking around.
What are you looking for?
My parents.
Give me a perception check.
9.
There isn't really anyone or anything that seems to resemble your parents here. You don't get that sense.
Okay.
I mean, you get the sense you're starting to oddly understand an element about some of these creatures that you've been encountering. Even the thing that was under the water that was a shining light, Merkel, to a degree, even the dogs that Merkel had with it were, in a way, celestial beings of their own. These creatures are strange, and looking at each of them, you're realizing that they're not too dissimilar to some of the things that you've encountered before that were demons or fiends or devils. Igen, Chiba. These are almost like their counterparts. Not necessarily gods, but outsiders of good alignment. And in a way, and this isn't what they are, but it would be akin to like angels, kind of. It would be that kind of a sensation that you would get from them. Relatively divine, relatively good aligned creatures that exist here, but not really undead or dead or spirits of those that might have passed, you know? So it's not necessarily impossible. I don't think you would think it would be impossible that somebody who has died could become a celestial or become divine in some way. You don't get the sense that this is a heaven or anything like that, or somewhere that your parents might have passed on to. But it's also not technically impossible, so you don't get the sense that they would be here or anything like that.
Okay. How close is the tree with the face on it?
Close. You are probably now coming up to the edge of the forest. So Una, you can see an owl resting in the branches of a tree, maybe a few trees in from the edge of the forest. The owl seems to be looking kind of over you guys. Near the entrance to the forest is the tree where the face was. The bark kind of rearranged itself and the face seems to have gone now. But you probably walk up now to the edge of a very large expanse of forest. Not too dissimilar to the Forest of Bame, but it's certainly not the same thing or a copy or anything like that, but the same kind of density. Bame in autumn is the sense you get from the trees. A lot of the trees' leaves are still green. It seems like a lot of them are evergreen, but there is plenty that are kind of starting to yellow now. And as you've moved through these fields, they went from being fresh to with wilting and withering, as it not in the sense of death, but in the sense that you're in late autumn as you start to approach this tree line, as if you've passed through the season. Once you get to the edge of this forest and you look into it again, you get that sense that it's teeming with life, but it seems very thick forestry surrounding the base of this mountain, which now also seems a little bigger to you as you're closer to the mountain range. There's still a huge expanse of forest before it. the trees and the canopy of the trees provides you with shade at the moment. And Aura, you stand before this tree where you saw the face on it. So Una, you maybe notice the owl. It stands out to you, and maybe some of the others don't notice
Close
it.
enough to speak to?
The
Or
owl.
too far away?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like 30 feet away and then up in a tree, and it's looking at you. It has like large golden eyes, and it stands out to you because there's an element of light shining off of it. And at first, its feathers seem to be kind of white, but the areas where the shaft of light hit it, you can see that they're kind of golden in color. What do you guys want to do?
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Ooh, what?
Beautiful owl I have ever seen.
Oh. Does the owl stand out in regard to what other creatures there are?
Not really to you, no.
Okay. It's a bright color.
It's beautiful.
Turn to the owl as
Yeah.
I'm still continuously stuffing my face with food.
Hello.
You speak to the owl.
Yes, of course.
The owl kind of cocks its head to you. It doesn't speak back.
I think your feathers are very beautiful.
Give me an animal handling check.
Oh, good Lord. I'm not great at that. Well, unless you count Toby. The person, not the dog. 4.
The
Not
owl
so great.
cocks its head at you, turns, and takes flight deep into the forest.
Oh,
Creature so beautiful.
you see its wingspan?
Yes, it is absolutely incredible. I've never seen a bird quite like that before.
No.
I think I've seen a barn owl, the brown ones that are much smaller.
Pretty loud too, owls.
All these animals seem very rude. First the crab and now the owl. I don't understand.
The crab was very friendly, like she waved.
Crab was on drugs. I'm pretty sure the crab was on drugs.
Says the person who spoke to a skull.
It was, it
that's
was
the-
talking to me.
It
Have
was
you
pretty
seen me?
frightening to see you do that, though. I have to say, you look brighter. Now your skin's not so pale.
Oh, for a second I thought you said you meant I was glowing.
Yeah, well, you kind of. Your skin is very dewy. You look nice.
Too bad I
Do you
couldn't
feel-
take any of that fruit with me then.
Well, do you want me to pack some up? I mean,
did it all wilt away?
It's no. It's not like wilted. It's not like rotting away or anything like that. No. So any that you still have on you would probably still be fine. Yeah.
I could just pack up some berries.
Yeah, we should.
Don't be too greedy, but I can take some for the road. I've got a rucksack.
All right.
All right.
I think even Ellie would put some in her backpack.
Oh, without hesitation, I'm stuffing stuff in my bag.
I'm walking towards the tree, so I'm not really thinking about the food.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're at the tree. Yeah. It looks like a tree
Okay.
to you.
You said there's like a face in it, right?
It was, yeah. It kind of had a face, and a sort of motherly face, but the face kind of, the bark rearranged and the face went away.
I want to touch the bark.
Okay. Roll me a d20.
19.
Ooh. There is an immediate kind of sense as you touch this tree. You sense the greatness of this forest before you, how huge it is. It's much larger than it even appeared to you when you were approaching it. It seems to go on endlessly. It's almost as if it's a huge well of power. It, much like what you were discussing on your way here about sharing and being roommates and sharing an area of your own kind of boundary, is its own area. The edge of this forest, the edge of the area where the beach and these fields are, the edge of the area where the sea meets the previous forest you were in, and what feels like in the distance this mountain space are separate areas of the same boundary, each one belonging to its own deity or its own person, its own thing, including the sky above, which seems to belong to another. As soon as you touch this tree, you get the sensation that this forest is the next area of your journey, and you hear a voice speak to you from deep within the forest. This tree with the face on it is all of the trees, and all of the things and creatures and the water that's in the forest. Everything seems to be connected to this voice that speaks to you. All of you can hear the voice, but I think it hits you twice as hard as you're touching the tree. Aura. The voice that speaks out says,
To travel to winter, you must find a friend, a trustworthy steed. Such friends can be found only here, in this forest. Divine guardians, forest lords, they will reveal themselves only to those who are worthy. But it shall take all your knowledge of forestry to track celestial unicorns. To fail is to become lost in Myliki's forest forever.
Well, I mean, that doesn't sound so terrible, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more.
Well,
So we need to track celestial. We need to find a guide, essentially. Is that what I'm understanding?
yeah, or a steed, and I immediately look up.
nothing up there.
His name was Shandakal?
Oh, you're looking for Shondakol.
Yeah.
There's no Shondakol up there, but the skies above do belong to Shondakol. That's true.
Can I try calling up to see if he hears me?
Mm-hmm.
Shandakal?
Don't call that giant evil goose thing again. I don't want to end up in its mouth.
He could take us to winter.
Why are you doing this? I immediately start.
I imagine that we're supposed to get there ourselves, right? He only comes to pick us up when we've completed the season.
I don't want to see him again, ever.
It's all right, Bo. I'll protect you next time.
I really like him, though.
Yeah, or maybe you could just hang on next time.
You won't like him as much if you end up in his mouth. That breath stink.
Oh, he saved you. He saved
I wonder
your
what
ass.
he eats.
You don't want to know.
Well, I guess we're just supposed to look for a guide.
I guess. I mean, they said get a steed, so maybe there's like horses or something we could ride.
Well, you're good at tracking, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's see what we see.
I'll start looking around immediately, looking at the ground, looking for obvious signs of disturbance.
Time to be a ranger. You
Yes.
can roll me a survival check with advantage. Actually, no, not with advantage. Sorry, just the ranger
Okay.
Oh,
gets
sorry.
to do this. Depending on what you're looking for.
I'm looking for tracks. I'm looking for if there's a path that's an obvious way to follow, or if there's any sort of beings around to interact with.
Not really any beings around. Like, you get the sense again that there is life and stuff here, but not really any guardians or keepers or immediate guides that stand out to you. Looking around using your usual techniques of looking for tracks or sets of tracks, you can see that there are plenty here around the edge of the forest. There are lots of tracks. The ground here is relatively soft, so you don't need to rely on just looking for like broken leaves or a path that something might have taken through the forest. You might search for little broken stems and stuff to see that something large had moved past. There doesn't appear to be any path for sure no like man-made stuff appears to have been anywhere here apart from the chest. You see tracks all over though. There are oval prints, there are leaf-shaped prints, there are large what looks like footprints, there are split hoof prints, and there are plenty of smaller prints that might belong to smaller creatures or birds. Depending on what track you're wanting to follow or look for will depend very much on where you go from this point.
It did say steed, correct? Like I heard that.
Yep,
I want to look for like horseshoe type prints, horse prints.
Yeah, give me another survival check, but this time you have advantage.
Okay.
22. There are a decent amount of prints that look horse-like in nature, kind of like a lily pad. It's likely that these would belong to a steed of sorts that are moving in a very, like, just almost 2 feet from where you're stood right now. You can see that there must have been a herd of these creatures that moved by probably not too long ago. The depression in the ground is pretty obvious, and it looks to you like there's maybe 20, maybe a few more than that have moved through the area, and you can see pretty clearly quite an easy thing to track such a big animal leaving footprints in the ground. Here, where it's relatively soft, you will be able to track it for a decent amount of time and quite easily.
Is there a unique print around?
Give me another survival check, and you can have advantage on this as well. 19. The unique print to you looks like footprints. It seems odd that there would be humanoid footprints here when you've really only seen animals and things that might be dryads, that kind of a thing. You can see what looks like very large footprints, not so big to be an ogre or anything like that, but maybe more like a very large human, maybe a small Goliath kind of thing. Goliaths are kind of big, they're like giant, half giants kind of. So to see that kind of a footprint is probably the most unique one there. Other than that, they all look pretty much like the type of animal footprints you'd expect to see here. Depending on how they move and stuff depends on the type of print they leave behind. But it looks pretty much like the same kinds of creatures and critters that you might find in your forest.
So I have this thing called Favored Enemy and Celestials in it.
Yes.
I have advantage on wisdom survival checks to track your favorite enemies, as well as on intelligence check to recall information about them. Can I see if any of these tracks might be celestial?
All of them are.
Okay.
That's why you had advantage on the last two. Every track here seems to belong to a celestial, and I don't know where you're pulling that information from. It might be coming from a source that you aren't even sure about yourself before you get it, almost like a sixth sense now. Because you do have that to a degree with your ability to open portals and be a planeswalker. Kind of probably gives you some sort of a reverb of additional information that comes to you from an alternate source that would feel like a sixth sense to the rest of us. But yeah, everything here is a celestial. Every little bird, the owl, the tree with the face, the pixies, every single thing here is a celestial, which does give you an advantage to tracking things, but also kind of levels the playing field in the sense that everything is a celestial. And that includes the footprint here. What that footprint is, though, you're not too sure, but most certainly belongs to a humanoid. What that humanoid is not something you know on at least a sixth sense situation here. It's simply something that you most likely have never encountered, or if you see it, you just go, oh, it's a Goliath. It's just a god one or something like that. The footprints that are humanoid in nature seem to be going in a similar direction to the hoof prints.
A lot of I don't know. This looks kind of like horses or some kind of animal like that. A herd of them went this way. There's these tracks here walking in the same direction, so I feel like maybe we should go this way.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
Well, you heard her.
yep.
Let's follow Aura and be very quiet.
I have
Stealth
finished
like.
up packing snacks and
Right.
start making my way to.
We don't want to scare anything away.
No,
Aura, why don't you go on a little bit ahead and we'll follow you.
All right, and then I'll just kind of like second nature. 'Cause I've done this so much, I just start tracking.
And
I feel like Ellie would just go into stealth.
yeah, roll me a stealth check, and Aura, roll me another survival check with advantage.
14.
9.
14 and a 9 as you head now into the forest and start to maneuver into the slightly less warm, slightly less bright, with the canopy above, and slightly less fruitful and bountiful area as you transition from summer into autumn and into this forest. And that's where we're going to go to a short break.
Wow.
Yeah. We will return. I forgot to load up the ad, so I'm going to load up an ad for... Do we not have a new show?
We do.
When is it?
It's tomorrow. It's the first episode.
Tomorrow. And I believe
pull it up on
it
YouTube,
is
right?
at... Yeah, I can't do that. I believe it is at 9 p.m., which is 4 Eastern, which is the same time as this show. PB is going to tell you all about it.
It's Horizon Zero Dawn show. Whack is in it. And Dan is GMing it. Maximum effort, I know.
I knew there was something I forgot. I was like, I must make sure to prepare the trailer. Hey, you should know about it by now because it would have started last week. Lucky for you, it starts tomorrow. So if you want to watch it, it's a brand new series that starts tomorrow night here on Tablestory with Dan, who ran our Reaper Relay show, and he's running he's running the big boy now. He's in the big leagues now, running a long-form show. So if you want to get in on episode 1 of something, then tomorrow night's a really good place to do that. All-star cast with all your favorite streamers. Yeah, I will grab the trailer and I will run it during the break here. We're going to have a short break. We'll head back into the forest after a few minutes. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in a few. And we're back. Well, some of us are back. PB's not back because she's emotional incontinencing everywhere. Because of an Easter egg, a throwaway Easter egg.
Not throwaway. How dare you?
It's a pretty throwaway.
I knew instantly.
Yes.
Don't laugh at me, honey. My husband's laughing at me now. All right.
I'm laughing at
Pull
you.
it, get it
It's so
together,
funny.
peeps.
The crew here head into the forest, and you like this song, right, Disby? Well, I'm gonna change it. The four of you head into the forest, and under the canopies of I have sometimes I have a name in my head for what it is, but you don't have a name for it yet, or maybe ever. So it's the forest. Ellie starts kind of creeping around. She does her thing as she starts to maneuver through the forest here, using the shadows and the trees and bushes to try and disguise herself more. She kind of blends in a little better and starts to naturally and stealthily move quietly through the underbrush. Aura, you begin tracking the hoof prints here, the horse-like prints that you see on the ground. And as you start moving in, you can follow them for maybe about 15 minutes, I think, as you start to progress through the forest. It doesn't feel like an evil forest or anything like that, but it also doesn't quite feel like it's, like incredibly safe or anything like that either. Where you feel unbelievably safe in your own boundary and probably somewhat on the beach. Here, there's definitely a sense that anything could be in here. Nothing really that is actively trying to harm you or hunt you in a predatory nature, but you feel, probably maybe even all four of you start to feel a sense that maybe at this point you're starting to become almost invasive, like you're starting to kind of impede on territories and things like that as it becomes a little more wild in nature, moving into this forest. And the deeper you move into it, sounds and smells begin to change. The area around you, you move through an area where you realize it's quiet, and then you move through an area where there's suddenly more activity and life. Or you follow these tracks for as long as you can, but eventually you realize that the ground is a little harder, a little drier, and the tracks stop being straight up hoof prints that you can follow, including the footprints that you were following too. You come to an area where the ground is overgrown and a little tougher, and you need to rely on your own wits or knowledge to continue to make an educated guess as to where these creatures might go from here. On a 9, you fail. You can't see any tracks or any other ways that you can follow where this herd of horses might have moved through here. There's enough damage done to some of the leaves and underbrush that suggests that several creatures could have gone several different directions here. And you're not too sure now as you get to what would essentially be a fork in the road, or, you know, a pitchfork in the road, or a multiple spork in the road of the different directions you could go, and where they might be. What do you do next? You have no hard evidence, at least, to suggest where they might go.
Well, because that 9 was from before, can I not roll again to see?
The 9 was kind of to continually track.
Okay.
Until a certain point, basically. So up to here. So that was your 9 running out, in a way. That was where you get to this point. To continue to track. You found the tracks, and that was what you located, but you run out of hard evidence, so it's really, I'm just asking you what you want to do here, and we can potentially roll for it, or you can make a choice and be like, I go that way, and then you guys walk that way. It's up to you.
Does this apply to, like, looking at the disturbance of, like, cracks in the, like, grass that's been knocked over, or bush or something that's been disturbed? Like, would that qualify or no?
Yeah, you can see that there are several ways that they might have gone from here. That's the thing, is that you can actually see multiple areas of disturbance, and you're not too sure what it could be, depending on the herd might have split up, which is unlikely. It could just be that they were heading one direction and another large beast went across in another direction previously or after they did, and it created a kind of messy junction, and it could be that they did a left, they might have done a right, they could have headed forward, but there are multiple options. So in terms of hard evidence, you haven't got very much, but I don't know how else you might want to approach it. I know that you're not a ranger in real life, but hey, neither am I, so what do you got?
I'm gonna Buns is hanging out on my horn. I'm gonna put my finger up and pull Buns down and say, can you fly up and tell me which way we should go? See if there's a herd? And I'm going to put my finger up and have Buns fly up to go scout for me.
Yeah, give me an animal handling check with advantage.
Okay.
18. Buns flies upwards into the sky. There is, as he flies upwards in above the canopy, you see a sudden movement from the canopy near where he is, as another flock of small kind of robin-like creatures fly upwards and follow him. They kind of disappear above the canopy together. The robins that are following him have an aura to them, a slight kind of golden aura to them as they follow him, but they look pretty much like slightly larger robins than he is. You see them fly around together for a little while. Bun's getting distracted for a moment with the joy of just flying around with these other birds. Then there's a moment where the other robins fly in a different direction. Buns kind of follows and then turns away, remembering you had asked him to do this thing. He disappears above the canopy for maybe 30 seconds to a minute before reappearing and landing in a direction that is to, if, for example, you don't really have a northeast, south, and west, but if you were moving through the forest to the north, he stands to the west, as if the horses had maybe gone and done a left here.
Okay.
Or towards the west. And he chirps, sitting on maybe a branch to indicate maybe to you that would be the direction to follow.
Okay. All right, I think we have to go this way, and I point the direction that Buns is perched up on.
All right.
So,
Carefully.
Yeah, I mean, the tracks kind of disappeared for a bit, but Buns went up to look for us. So I think that this is the right way.
All right. And what exactly are we looking for? Horses?
Well, I feel like, I don't know if they're horses or not, but they might be.
It could actually be a unicorn.
Never say never, especially in a place like this.
I think I would lose my mind.
I
think I would have a heart attack.
It could be centaurs too. Those guys are jerks.
Well,
I'm personally rooting for the unicorn. I've never seen one.
So I'd start leading them, and we'll walk by the branch that Buns is on, and then he'll fly down and land on my horn again. And we'll just start heading in that direction.
Yeah.
Have you met a centaur before, Bo?
Rumors. I'm just basing those facts off rumors.
It's what I do too.
Hoping they're wrong.
Makes sense. I was just curious.
What was that?
Could be anything.
Was that something?
Did you hear something?
I thought I saw something, but I was wrong. It's just the sunlight coming through the tree there. I thought it was shimmering off of a unicorn horn. Too excited, I think.
Brad, do I see anything?
You can all give me perception checks if you want. Tuna thinks she sees a unicorn horn, but it's not. It's the sunlight glimmering off of something. Bo and Ellie, you look in the direction, and it's for sure just the sunlight. Aura, you see a horn as well. It's perfectly camouflaged in a shaft of sunlight and some trees and a bush behind it. You can see a very large set of horns attached to a very small looking face with large eyes, a creature that would look not too dissimilar to Gollum with horns to us maybe, holding on kind of with very long arms and overly large hands, monkey-like, to a tree, and just looking at where you are, the more still the creature is, the more difficult it is to see their face. The little horn sticking out from the tree, looking the most obvious to you as you kind of see the horn too, and then you follow it down to a set of eyes. The eyes give you a certain look. Give me an insight check with advantage because you're a celestial knowledge thing. The creature gives you a kind of wide-eyed, you didn't see me look.
Oh no. Okay, when I get that look, I don't say anything, but I look around other places to see if I notice if there's something else around to be aware of.
Yeah, give me another perception check. Just you.
19.
19. No, this place seems to be fine. There are little creatures and critters. There's this thing, person, animal that's kind of hanging onto a tree with these big horns coming out of its head. But other than that, it just seems to be clear of anything weird or untoward or large.
I'm gonna look back at it and give it eyes of why not? Why, like, I'm gonna try to communicate with it with my mind.
I'm gonna roll an insight check for the creature. It seems to understand what you are saying, and it's gonna give you a look, and I need another insight check with advantage. It just gives you a big wide-eyed stare. Its hands tighten to the tree a little bit, but that's about it.
Okay. There's no way for me to like not draw attention to it without the others also noticing.
They've looked
So
directly at it, and you know they can't see it. Only you
Okay.
can.
So they can't see it at all.
No, they all totally looked at it and went, "Oh, there's nothing there." And then they probably started walking off in the direction you were gonna go.
Okay.
And you started giving eyes to this creature somewhere in the forest, 10 feet away.
I'm gonna start walking towards it, but just turn back to the room. I'm just gonna check out. Maybe there's a ridge over here, just to see if there's some way we can go.
And I think I tell you the time the kettleweed. I've told you the kettleweed. All right, Aura. All right,
I'll be right there.
Here.
Okay. And I'll walk towards this tree-hugging creature.
Yeah, what do you do when you get to the tree-hugging creature?
Is it a koala? Sorry.
It's not.
I'll stand next to the tree and not look directly at it, and just pretend that I'm like looking around, which also might be helpful to do anyway. But try talking to it and say, "Can you help us?"
You said it in common.
I recognize that this is a celestial?
You can, at this point, assume everything in this entire forest is a celestial.
Then I'll speak in celestial.
Aura speaks in celestial, which sounds like whatever you need it to sound like in your heads, dear viewer. But most likely does not sound anything like how the creature speaks back to you in celestial and says,
You leave now. You go now.
But why? I don't. Why can't I talk to you?
My tree, you stranger.
Oh, this is your tree. Oh, okay.
You not a tree.
Are you a tree?
it gives you a filthy look, like you're a child or an idiot.
I'll see in my peripherals that he does that. You don't have to look at me like that. That's just rude.
Me no tree.
What are you?
Me Gogo.
Your name is Gogo?
Me Gogo.
Okay. Gogo, my name's Aura. Do you want to help us?
Gogo holds out its hand, and its hand is really big. So compared to its very thin arm, its hand would look like it belongs to a creature twice its size. It has very big hands. On the ends of its hands, it has almost reptilian, like gecko-like kind of padding, that seems like they would stick to surfaces really well. You can see that its feet are also hands, basically, with the same thing going on. It's a very skinny humanoid frame, completely naked. Its little butt hanging off the edge of the branch, but it's holding on to the tree. Its head is quite small, but the horns coming off of the side of its head are very, very large. Its huge eyes and face, very kind of humanoid, but eyes really large in its head, holds out its hand, and inside there are pieces of bark that look like it just pulled them from the tree, but it unfurls its hand and says,
You take piece of tree, you leave Gogo.
I don't want a piece of your tree.
Magic tree.
Okay, what does magic tree mean?
You find out.
Do I eat it? Do I put it on my face? What do I do with it?
When you need it most, you know what to do.
Can you tell us where to go?
Where you want to go?
We're looking for a steed that will take us to the next season.
You go that way, you go that way, you go that way, you go this way, you go that way. You go anywhere but my tree.
Okay, well, that's unhelpful. I'll grab the magic bark from his hand. And are there enough pieces for all of us?
It's like loads of. It's like probably like 20 pieces of bark.
Okay, at this point, I just think he's crazy, and I'll just stick him in one of my pockets. Do you not know which way to go towards the next season? Are there horses here or unicorns?
Unicorn, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Where are the unicorns?
Unicorn this way.
Points in the direction that that Buns was kind of indicating, towards the west, let's say.
Okay. Well, that checks out. I
You
won't
Go to water.
go to water.
Go to water.
Okay. It was nice to meet you, Gogo. I won't bother you anymore, and I hope
you
you're...
never saw Gogo. Gogo not here.
Okay, Gogo. And I'll just like, I'll while I'm backing up and looking, is there anything around here of importance besides Gogo hugging his tree?
Doesn't look like it, no.
Okay.
Gogo falls completely still and becomes a little bit difficult to see again.
Thank you for your help, Gogo. It was nice to meet you. Thank you for the bark.
Okay, you Gogo now.
Okay. I just turn around and I'll start heading back.
You head
And
back
I'm
over to
telling
the
you,
others.
I was sneezing for the entire spring.
It's,
It's not a good joke. It was not a good prank.
who
Telling
played
you.
a prank on you?
What? Oh, I was just talking about the time Toby planted kettleweed north of my farm, and I was sneezing the whole season.
I
Right.
just smile at her.
Right. Well,
Yeah. I mean,
did you find something?
I'll tell you about it later, but I don't think there's anything worth checking out that way. But I do think the way Buns was pointing is the right way to go.
All right. Onward to Buns.
And then
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, go
I
on.
just... Has anyone ever heard of, like, magic bark?
What?
Magic bark.
No.
Like a magic tree or anything? Like, is that something that means anything to anybody?
May I roll for that, kind GM?
Magic bark. You can roll I guess, what's an intelligence roll that would work here? Probably investigation or a history check with disadvantage.
For magic. History. Disadvantage.
Yes.
3.
And yes. 3. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just repeating it while I was
have a-
filling the air while I was
You have
rolling
a lot
it.
of... there's not much information to go on to try and
I've
guess.
never heard of magic bark. Is that some sort of tobacco or drug?
No, I don't know if I was seeing things, but like a little... I can't lie to you guys. There's like a little creature in the tree, and he told me not to tell you that I saw him, and then he gave me magic bark.
What?
Have some magic bark. He said, you know what to do with it when you need it. So I'll take the bark out of my pocket and start handing it out to all of them.
We'll know what to do with it when we need it.
Yeah, that's what he said. I mean, if anything, it could be kindling if we ever need fire. So I guess it's good for all of us to kind of have a little bit of it.
Well, it just smells like regular bark to me.
Charlie would
All
just
right.
pocket it.
Scratcher.
Well, thank you, Aura, for finding this bark all by yourself.
Yes. Thank you for the bark.
You're welcome.
Where's the creature?
That was a long time ago. I may have been seeing some, you know how like when we were eating the fruit, like we were starting to see more things. I think it might have been something like that, maybe.
See?
Like the
He's
owl.
seeing things now. And guess what? I was talking to the skull. This place is messing with our minds a little bit.
Not
Yeah,
me.
maybe a little bit.
I'm
Ellie
good.
might be right.
Well,
You were swimming around like some sort of weird sea creature thing. Don't even not me. When
Right,
you
sea
walked out of the
hogs.
water
Like a
glistening and
dog.
glowing, what even was that?
Shining, shimmering.
Yeah.
the creature did tell me there might be unicorns this way. So,
What?
yeah,
Well, let's
But I was-
go.
that's worth a shot, right?
Sweating. Let's go.
Yeah.
Quickly now.
I'll start moving quickly towards
In that
where
direction.
unicorns might be.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you start moving towards where unicorns might be, and
Title of the episode.
you just start moving west. Aura, give me a perception check. 8. You start moving west, and really the only thing you have to work with is water, right? So maybe you're looking for water. You start moving, you guys move for 5 minutes, you move for 10 minutes, you move for 15 minutes, and you're moving through this underbrush. It starts to get very thick and tangled. It starts to get a little difficult to move through it. It transitions from being a forest into more of a kind of jungle situation. There are vines and there are things to try and hack your way through. You get stuck and you have to maneuver around thick groves of trees and vines and bushes that are very difficult to move through. So you end up going kind of off course on a direct west heading. Eventually, you notice that the ground here is even drier than it was before, as if there is no water, or like it hasn't rained here at all. And you get the sense that maybe you're a little off course, and that really you should be trying to find water, and maybe you started moving away from where the water is. It's around this point, as you start to come to this revelation, you maybe start to readjust your bearings, when suddenly the ground and the trees around you all come to life. All 4 of you notice a rumbling and a kind of noise as several plants and things begin to flower. Lots of brightly colored flowers, pinks, purples, and yellows, open up very quickly. You notice as this happens all around where you are, suddenly there are small puffs of spores that fill the air around you. And as you begin to react and turn, maybe head back where you came from, you see that there are other flowers that have spines along their stems, kind of like a rose might have, little thorns. And these flowers open up, and then they begin to almost track your movement as you guys move in one direction or another, and then they start firing tiny needles at you. Everyone, give me a dexterity saving throw first. Wow. Wow. A 5. Well, it's a natural 1, really, from Bo. A 20, a 26, and a 22 from Ellie, Aura, and Suna. So Bo, roll me a 2d6.
Oh, man, I wasn't paying attention. 2d6.
You are not paying attention.
I have an important question, because I don't know if this was discussed earlier. Is Bo dressed, or is he running around in a mankini?
Yeah, do you have your clothing back on?
If you want me to be running around in a mankini, I can be running around in a mankini.
Just picture a long white-haired man in a mankini running around a magical forest.
It's a little
right now.
cooler in here. It's not quite as warm as it was on the beach, but you can be in a mankini if you want, with your one deflated arse cheek. The other arse cheek is peppered by 3 needles. Ding, ding, ding. And
no, not his ass again.
The rest of you see these needles start firing at you. It's quite easy to avoid them because you can see the flowers turning towards you, and they're easy to outmaneuver and just avoid as they fire these needles at you. As you start moving backwards, the spores are still filling the air around you, but you move away from the area where the flowers are and move back, following your footsteps, and you realize that the ones that were firing the needles at you close up again, as if they're protecting the area ahead of where you are. But the spores are everywhere, and it's impossible not to breathe them in. But is it impossible to be affected by them? Let's find out. Constitution saving throws, please, from everyone.
Oh dear. 23 for me.
Nice. 12. What was it? What did I write down? 12 is a makes it, breaks it. So 12, 23, and 17, you're all good. You inhale these spores, maybe not as much as Ellie, or maybe Ellie just is susceptible to them in some way here. But for whatever reason, Ellie, you are now under the effects of these hallucinogenic spores. While you're under the effects of the hallucination, many colors are switched and replaced. Green becomes blue, red becomes purple, etc., etc. There are also at least 3 colors that you've never seen before, and it's relatively disorienting, and it lasts for about 15 minutes. And that's what's happening to you as the 4 of you move away from this area where all these spores have kicked up from these strange flowers. And Aura, I think you start to realize that you went off track somewhere, and that you need to backtrack a little bit, and you can roll me another survival check.
Oh, I think the world changed. Anyone else seeing this?
What?
What? No, it's-
Everything is. What color would my skin be? Even though it's pale.
I don't know what color. It's not whatever
I
it
think I'd
should
look
be.
down and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm turning green. Oh, this is not good. Am I changing? Do you see me? Am I changing? Oh, I didn't. I
Oh,
don't
has
have
she been
green.
poisoned?
It's bad enough that I'm pale, but now I'm gonna be green.
Get the spikes out.
She doesn't
I'll
have
just go
spikes.
over and
I have spikes on my butt.
Oh yeah, your ass. Is your ass okay?
No, but let's. I mean,
Pull them out. Pull. I think they're
Yeah.
poisoning us.
I'm gonna. Let me pull them out. I'll pull them out.
and then you got to suck the poison out, the venom.
Who's
That's only with snake bites. I don't think
who's
you.
gonna suck my butt? This is no laughing matter.
No one's gonna suck your butt. I'll just pull them out. I know how to do it, like very
I'm
gingerly.
pretty sure it's
Very-
with any venom. You have to get it out.
No. I think because then sometimes the venom will then. I mean, if it's, I don't know. This is a different kind
Any
of venom.
poison that is injected into the bloodstream, you have to get it out.
Okay, well let me just start by pulling out the. Okay, and I'm just gonna go over to his butt and I'm gonna start
Is it
pulling
pussing?
out. Let me see. Is it pussing?
I don't
You
know.
can
I
give me a
can't see.
medicine check.
I can't see.
I'm crying.
Oh God.
It's bad. He's probably going to die if you don't suck the venom out.
Oh!
Oh, he's definitely. Both of you roll a natural 1. He's gonna die if you don't suck the venom out quick.
No, this is very serious,
Suna,
Aura. You have to take. You have to get it
You
out.
and I both have to do it. There's too many of them. We're gonna have to try to suck it out together.
I think I could do this.
No, this is. We are on a tight
die.
timeline here.
I mean,
He's gonna die.
Okay.
gonna die.
I've pulled them out.
I
we
will.
could each take.
I will start to try to suck the poison out.
I will try to find another one.
Wait, no. Here, I want to take a moment, push them aside, because Ellie actually has resistances to poison.
Yeah, but it's too late. You can't.
yeah.
The world is turning inside out for you. Your Ellie is wandering
I
in
think
circles
she's like
in
I
Alice
think
in
Ellie's
Wonderland
trying
right
to
now.
get to Bo to help. Like I can help, and then she just like is going the opposite direction of all of them. Like
It's
she
all
just
really
doesn't.
weird and disorienting. Your depth perception is screwed because all the green suddenly turned blue, right? And all of the areas
Yeah.
where there was like brown bark has turned to like bright pink or something. And you start kind of doing weird circles. Suna leans down and starts to suck on Bo's butt. It is chaos for a moment here. That you get like I'd say you probably get nothing from it. Like really, there isn't even any like blood. It's like
No,
these
I'm
are just
still-
tiny little
I'm
needles,
still,
like a
like-
cactus.
Doing that, and then I'm spitting it out on the
Is
ground.
it working?
Yeah.
Is it working?
I think so.
Suna?
I think so. I'm not seeing any venom here in my
I mean,
spit.
it looks like it's working.
No, it's all right. It's
I
all
mean,
right.
look at-
Look, there's nothing in here.
It looks like less red besides like the area where you've. Yeah.
I think
This
you're
is-
all right, Bo.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever. Well,
I don't think you're gonna die. Is the important part.
at least there's that.
You only have one good butt cheek. I mean,
Are you all right?
I
That must have been very frightening for you.
I'm good. I don't know why I decided to go in my mankini.
Yes, perhaps it's a good idea if you put your pants back on.
Yeah,
the clothing might be good in this area.
yeah. I then immediately pull my clothes out from my sack and just start.
I think as they're doing this, they would just see Ellie going in circles until finally she just like falls backwards and stares at the sky.
Yeah, and the sky is made up of like 3 different colors that you've never seen before. So
Oh, I hate this. I hate colors.
Are you okay? What's happening?
Ellie?
Did you get? Do we have to suck poison out of you?
I hope
What
not.
happened?
No one is sucking on me.
Did you get any on your butt too?
Are you
No,
all
I
right?
don't think so. Nothing is the same. I can't see, like, everything's bright.
That's called happiness, Ellie.
I don't even know, and I point at, like, the sky, and I'm like, I don't even know what color that is. I've never seen that one before.
It's
Maybe you're-
blue.
No, it's not. It's like, nope. It's like multiple shades. It's iridescent.
Did you eat the bark?
No, I think I still got the bark. Should I eat the bark?
No, but I'm just curious if you didn't even have a nibble.
Maybe the bark will work. Hey, try some of the bark.
Well, I don't think. I just mean it might be drugs.
Yeah, but
I'm definitely drugged right now.
do I see the spores in the air?
You saw the spores. They're no longer
Yeah.
there. I think you guys, I kind of just gave you the benefit of the doubt that you moved away from it.
I think she just inhaled whatever that was in the air.
Yeah.
I don't know how to help with that.
What if I hit you in the face really hard?
Don't do
Me
that.
or her?
No, Ellie. Like maybe it'll knock the color at it, like the color vibrancies out of you.
Yeah.
If you hit me in the face, I'm gonna stab you. Don't do that.
What if
Okay,
it's mouth to
Who's
mouth?
gonna kill you? All right. Well, I believe that. That gave me goosebumps, Ellie.
Yeah. Eat some bark.
I take out the bark from the pouch. I put it in like my leathers, and I like try to bite down on it.
Okay.
Oh gosh!
no.
Oh no!
Let's see here. You did you give everyone a piece of bark, or is this the whole thing?
No, I divvied it up. Yeah.
Everyone has one. Okay. Who is standing next to Ellie?
I was gonna hit her, so it's probably me.
All right, Ellie, roll me 2d4.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
So you see this happen. She bites down on the bark, and then Ellie and Aura, from the perspective, in fact, in each other, but from the perspective of Bo and Suna, vanish. They just gone.
Whoa.
You two are still there, but for you, Aura, Ellie disappears. For Ellie, Aura disappears.
Have we actually disappeared somewhere?
No, you're still there. You're invisible.
Do you feel better, Ellie?
Can we hear them?
Yes. They're just invisible.
Whoa.
No, I still see colors.
Yeah. Now I'm seeing things.
Rainbows everywhere.
I don't think you're seeing things, Suna. I don't see them anymore.
Right?
What?
Well, we're right
You're
here.
gone.
And I look
You're
over and I'm
invisible.
like, you guys are like neon.
I see you guys. I
Really?
mean, maybe you guys inhale some spores?
I don't think so. You both went at the same, but we both saw it.
Oh no. Did it happen after I bit the bark?
I think it's the bark.
It camouflaged. Whoa.
No, you
You're
guys are pretty
right.
neon. Oh, you're talking
Like
about
a
us. We're
chameleon.
camouflaged.
What if we each ate some bark and then made our way through and then we wouldn't aggravate the flowers?
Or the unicorns.
Oh.
I mean, look, we might want to wait to see how long this lasts and wait until I can not see these colors, maybe. It's making me want to puke.
Guess we
We're
could
just racing.
I'm gonna start digging through my bag.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have anything that might help with poison. No.
I don't think you do either.
Ellie, aren't you like, you know what poison stuff does? Do you have anything in your bag that might help you? Like an anti-poison? An antidote, if you will?
No, I only poison people. I don't cure them.
What if you accidentally get some on your finger or something? You don't have an antidote for yourself?
If you're bad enough to get some poison on your finger, you deserve to die.
Wow,
That's a little
that's
harsh.
a perspective. Yeah,
I mean, that's what they teach you.
right.
It seems like not a good plan though, because then like accidents happen. Like you get something, and then one of their assassins is just dead.
Sounds
I
like
mean,
a great environment for children, Ellie.
What? I mean, yeah, well, let's not get into children being assassins.
I'll start looking around just to see if there's like an antidote from nature that I might know of.
Yeah, okay, give me another survival check.
Actually, I'd like to know if Ellie would know of anything too, because that is a thing where I feel like they would have to kind of know of antidotes.
Yeah, you can give me a survival check as well.
Maybe. Nope.
You
That or she's just way too
don't
disoriented
know.
right now.
Maybe it's a disorientation thing, or it's just weird thing going on. But yeah, you aren't too sure of what it might be. For you, Aura, it does seem to resemble some stuff that you know of from creatures known as myconoids or the mushroom type people. They're usually found in the Underdark, so the reason that you might know them is that there is access points to the Underdark near the Mountains of Bane, which is where all the drow are from. I believe it's where our Inquisitor drow was from as well. There are these creatures that live under there. They're somewhat intelligent fungi people. They're generally not violent or they're generally peaceful, right? But they have a lot of defensive measures that are like spores and things, and a lot of the spores that are used by them have similar effects to what is happening, and worse and lesser effects to what is happening to Ellie. However, usually the effects are only felt for about a minute or two, whereas it's definitely been longer than that at the moment for Ellie. In terms of the remedy, there really isn't one because it doesn't tend to last too long. It's never really the type of thing where it's been deadly for the most part. It's usually just things. They're normally spores that will stop you, stun you. They can make you hallucinate for a moment just to let the creatures get away. It's a defensive measure to drive you away. It seems like the same thing. The spores seem very similar. And it does suggest to you that you're actually in an area where probably the creatures here react in a similar way to these myconoids, or they are here somewhere. You're actually maybe in their territory. But I don't think you know of a remedy because there really isn't one. There's not an anti-venom to this. So either it will wear off or you don't know it.
I think I know what this is though, and there's nothing we can do.
What?
It's like
We're gonna die?
No. There's like creatures who it's like when they get scared, they release this stuff and then they try to get away. And so usually it's temporary. It should wear off, Ellie, pretty quick. It's lasting a little longer.
We mean no harm.
They're like little mushroom people. Now that I'm thinking of it.
What?
Yeah, they're like little. I think they're some.
I'm gonna eat
what?
No, I think because they deserve. This is awful. When do I start to feel a little better?
Well, after 4 minutes, the invisibility wears off. So you two pop back into existence.
Oh.
I think Ellie's just still laying there on her back, just staring at the sky.
And I'd say you're probably about 10 minutes into the hallucinatory effects. So they're probably still going. Maybe you can sense that they're not as intense. Maybe things are starting to dull down a little. But it's still happening.
We just gotta wait it out, and you'll feel better soon. I mean, does it make you feel nauseous?
I mean, seeing rainbows everywhere is kind of nauseating. Plus, I can't say that I like all these bright colors that much.
But it's magical.
It's disgusting.
I don't think I understand you, Ellie. Every time I think I start to get an idea, I won't. Wait.
Ellie's head turns to Sauna, and then she points and says, "You're purple." And she looks back at the
Indeed,
sky.
I am. Now, listen here, Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
If we see these unicorns, you're not going to attack them, right?
No, not unless they drug me. I might. If they drug me,
They will not drug you. They are the most magical creature in all of existence. They're incredibly rare, and if we see one, I might have a heart attack.
Please.
You might need to resuscitate me. No killing of the unicorns, right?
Yes, no killing of the unicorns.
All right.
Maybe we should try the bark. Look, it wears off pretty quick, and we can make our way through the forest without.
But we don't know if it'll work.
Also, didn't you say we would know when to use it? and I don't feel like I know when to use it.
Yeah, I don't
That's
feel like I
true.
should have
Like
used
maybe
it.
if we see them, then we use it. But I also don't want to deceive them.
I know.
They'll
what
know
we
we're coming from a mile away, maybe.
They'll run if they see us. I mean, look at us. You guys are all purple and I'm green. This is not good.
I do have some sagging in my face a little bit.
Oh,
Perhaps I'm not worthy for the unicorns.
And Bo has some sagging in his ass.
Hey,
Bo looks radiant. Did you see him coming out of the water? It looked like he was going in slow motion. Maybe
I
you should
did.
go
It was
first.
very weird.
I'm just gonna. Can I? What's the word? Cast. Pass without a trace on all of us while we're sitting here.
You can. Yes. Pass without trace will basically give you a +10 to stealth checks that you can make.
While they're talking about Bo's ass and stuff, I'll sit there and I'll just raise my hand and it's like a flash of light really fast and now that should help.
What was that?
through.
oh my
Nice.
God. Is there a storm?
No, it's like we can won't be as loud while we're looking around and can be a little bit more stealthy.
Oh, all right. All right.
Maybe we won't trigger spore flowers that'll make Ellie see colors.
Right. Ellie, what color am I now?
You're slowly starting to be less purple. Maybe like a pale, like a lilac.
Nice. I like that color. Like a lavender.
It's kind of nice on you.
Well, thank you.
But I can't say I like being this puke color, though. It's pretty gross.
Well, you're not in real life, if it's any consolation.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Very radiant. Still
just-
dewy skin.
You're just
That's good.
seeing things
That's good.
in a different way.
This is why they don't let you do drugs in the guild. It's not good.
No, but they'll let you assassinate people and teach you about poison as a child. Yeah, the real great role models there.
No, I didn't have a choice. Some of us are just born into it. It's not
Maybe
fair.
this is
You always have a choice, Ellie.
No. Really didn't.
This is kind of gossipy, but do some assassins do drugs even though they're not supposed to?
Oh, I'm
Could
sure
you
they do.
imagine?
That's what I'm saying.
What if they assassinated the wrong person?
Has that
What if
happened,
they're
Ellie?
all fucked out of their minds and they see someone and they think it's their target, but it's not actually their target, and then they've killed, Joanne next door.
Ellie
Does
just
this happen?
smiles as they start speculating about the Assassin's Guild and its inner workings and all that.
What if an assassin? I mean, like you got the spores in your face, and then now you see different colors. What if you killed the wrong person?
Well, then I go kill the right person.
But what about the wrong person that you killed?
Yeah, Ellie, were you ever sent to kill somebody you didn't want to do it? Well, you know?
I think you would actually see a visible change in Ellie's face of she had a smile and then it just instantly drops. And she would find her feet and say, I don't want to talk about it. And start to walk away.
Mom,
Hit
we're
a
just
nerve there.
saying. Yeah, like Joanne might have 3 kids.
Yeah.
Right?
And what if she bakes the best shepherd pie in the town and you've just killed her?
She didn't share the recipe with anybody.
And it's a legacy lost. Tragedy, really.
She had a dream of opening a shepherd's pie shop, and now she can't.
Right. And she'd already had the shop, right? And they just needed to decorate it and for her to start. Horrific.
Her kids had this dream. She wanted a better life for her kids.
Wait, I have a question for Bo. Did Ellie ever tell Bo about? Oh crap! All right.
And now her kids have to have a funeral and never have their mother's shepherd pie again.
They try to open
Ellie,
up the shop.
this would all strike a nerve with her. She's like hallucinating. She's like in a place she doesn't like. She's just very stressed. And now they're bringing up a past where some of the stuff they're saying actually is hitting close to home. Just not the name Joanne. And And I think she'd turn around and she'd be like, enough. Really, guys, it's enough. I don't want to talk about it. There's no Joanne.
Right.
You just
Okay.
What you're saying
you
there
got a
could
job
be.
to do, just like anyone else. And I think
Well, this isn't
her
a
gaze
job.
would linger on Bo a little longer than it should.
Well, why don't we go back to looking for unicorns?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Are you
That's a
feeling
great idea.
feeling better, Ellie?
I can walk.
She looks like she's going to slit my throat.
It's okay. She looks like she's gonna do that to me too.
Right.
Yeah, I think Ellie would just be like silent for a while and
I think I just
walking.
lost 5 years of my life. She looked at me.
Oh,
Right. Unicorns.
yeah. Let's go find unicorns, and I'll
Right.
stand up and start. Just be careful. Don't like just pay more attention to like the way. I don't know.
I
Let's
can't
try to
take my eyes
avoid.
off of Ellie. I'm waiting for her to turn around and kill us. Did you see her look?
Yes.
She did.
Oh, I think there must have been a Joanne.
There must have been a Joanne. What was that?
What,
Did
I
you hear
heard
that?
I heard that too. What was that?
You know what? I'm just gonna. Let's go, and I'm gonna turn like laser focus back into tracking and try to lead them to the unicorns.
If you're passing through the area you just came from, you can roll me stealth checks and add 10 to your number. You roll.
We can go through here again, and I mean, we have a, or we can try to find a way around.
Oh my God, Bo. Where's Bo?
Damn.
Where's Sora?
He doesn't want to get shot in the butt again.
Sora, you're talking to me, but I have no clue where the fuck you are.
18, 24, 30, and 30. You each start quietly and stealthily moving through the area with the plants that were able to track your movement. They, none of them go off. None of them seem to be following you. None of them seem to open suddenly, and you can move through the area. You're also moving quietly. So, as you move and you step forward, you notice that your feet aren't leaving a crunch behind or anything, or a footstep noise. As you progress forward, you can barely even make each other out, kind of camouflaged and shrouded in this kind of spell, allowing you to move very stealthily past this area with these flowers. And you open, you come out into an opening here, and you can actually see these very large mushrooms in the area that you start moving through. They look just like big mushrooms, but as you move past them very quietly, you can see that they actually look like they have faces on the front of the stem of the mushroom, like sleeping mushrooms, big things like chair size that you could sit on. Assuming you move past these things and don't try and wake them up, you continue forwards, in the direction you were going.
Yeah.
All right, or give me another perception check, with advantage this time.
20.
You guys move through this area. It maybe takes about 15 minutes to move through this kind of mushroom portion of the forest. You can see that there are large mushrooms and small ones. You can tell that they all have faces. You can see that there are lots of these flowers that would open and spray you with needles or spores in the area too. But as you're moving through, you don't seem to activate them. It's almost as if you're invisible or you're ghosts, that you're not there. I'm also presuming nobody speaks to each other or does anything to actively try and be loud. You just kind of move through what is essentially a grove of these large mushrooms and these strange plants. Once you get through it and get to the other side, you move past another thick section of trees and vines with a lot more of these flowers on. You come out the other side and you see water running, coming down from a different direction, as if you'd went off the path. And you were supposed to be following a river maybe, but you come down and you kind of went left where maybe at some point you should have gone right. And you can see this water runs down now towards what looks like a small lake. From an opening nearby, you notice that there is a sun-dappled grove. And within that grove, there are about 24 unicorns, varying shapes and sizes. of unicorns here. You notice that some appear more akin to kind of horned Pegasuses with wings. Others have no wings, but you can actually see that some seem to be able to float and almost fly of their own will. Like they can just jump for a little higher than they should be able to. To each of you, as you exit this area and you're able to walk a little closer and you see this lake, and beside it there's this grove of unicorns. Once you look into this thing, you feel the effect of this spell wear off, and many of the unicorns kind of look over towards where you are. As soon as you notice this, each of you immediately will notice that one particular unicorn stands out to you personally, and as soon as you make eye contact with it, you know that there's a small link between you. Aura, what does your unicorn look like?
Okay. My unicorn is all white except for there's some brown around on its front 2 legs and then a red spot on his chest. And his mane is red and his tail is red and his unicorn horn is red and he has wings.
Nice. Yeah, you make eye contact with this unicorn. You feel a particular link with that one. So Una, which unicorn, or what do you see when we see the unicorn that you immediately notices
The
you
color
back?
of sand. So golden buff color. And its mane looks like sparkly and shining, almost like golden tinsel. It's the most radiant thing I've ever seen, and I shed a couple tears.
Yeah, it looks back at you, and you see it sees you. Bo, you notice a unicorn as well. What does your unicorn look like?
Oh, well, mine's sky blue with a white mane, and I instantly, to myself, name her Joanne.
And then last, Ellie, what does your most like? What do we have? An emo unicorn? What are we looking at when we see your unicorn?
Yeah, it's all black. The mane's black, the body's black. It's got wings, and on its face, it has a light gray skull-like pattern over the whole of its face and mouth.
Nice, like the Punisher.
Yep. I have the Punisher unicorn.
Yeah. So when you see these unicorns, they kind of, a few of them look to you, but you notice and feel an immediate link with one of these unicorns. When you move closer towards this grove, the unicorns in total seem wary of you, but unafraid of you, right? You all, I think, understand a resonance with them. Once they get closer, they seem like, and I'm not much of a horse connoisseur here. I don't know much about about horses. They scare me, but they are big. These unicorns are pretty damn large. Like, and I forget what they're called, but there are those huge horses. They look like one of those. They're much larger than they seem. Clydesdale. When you get closer, you realize they're actually really, really large. They're celestial beings. They're stronger than they appear. They're tamed, they're sentient, but they're wild and primitive at the same time, kinda. And as each of you moves into the grove here, you notice that the particular unicorn that you made eye contact with doesn't move away from you, whereas some of the others maybe do. And as you approach your unicorn, you are going to need to provide me with more checks to completely tame yours. Everyone, roll me a animal handling check
I'm going to barf.
to try and calm the unicorn as you approach it.
Can I?
God damn it, Joanne!
Can I have an advantage?
You can. Wow. So Suna and Aura, you pass and you calm the unicorn as you approach it. What do you two do? Like, what do we see as each of you walks up to your individual unicorn?
You can go first, Aura.
I would just step quietly and slowly, like I've done with horses back at my home, and just put my hand out ahead of me and just slowly approach.
Yeah, you do that. It's successful. You can see that the unicorn kind of allows you to come closer, and you remain calm in yourself and approach this creature. And you can see that you've earned its trust, but it's not quite over yet. Suna, what do you do?
I just walk up to it normally, and my eyes are wide, and I say, "You're the most magnificent thing I've ever seen."
And a similar response. Your unicorn doesn't seem to fear you, doesn't sense any fear in you or any danger, and just seems to accept what you're saying, even though you get the sense that these unicorns, they don't speak, they don't have a language or anything like that, or they probably don't understand what you're saying fully, but there's a certain rapport that you get immediately. Ellie, however, walks up and completely does not earn the trust of her unicorn.
I feel like Ellie
what do you think
walks
happens?
up, she turns around, what do you do? What do you do to it? Do you just jump on it?
No, just slow, you gotta go slower.
Oh.
What does the unicorn do when you do that?
I think
it doesn't trust you now.
I think it like turns around and grunts at her, like angrily.
Yeah, maybe moves
or it's
away.
Like, oh,
yeah.
You're scary. I like that.
Bo, you also fail to earn the unicorn's trust. What do you think you do?
Miserably. I thought, the eye contact between me and Joanne made us comfortable enough. So I just walk right up to it, and I'm like, "Hi, Joanne," and then I try to reach out for a pet, and she's like, "Nope."
Yeah, yours move away from you. How do you earn the trust of your unicorn? What do you do?
Me?
No, you two have
right.
passed. I want to know how these two, what they're going to do next.
I pull out some corn from my bag, because I stuffed a bunch of food from earlier, and I'm like, how about some of this, huh? You like this?
The unicorn appears to be very interested, and as you approach with the corn, the unicorn takes and eats the corn and is a lot more interested in you and seems to calm down and seems to trust you now. There is no need to roll. I just want to know how you pass. What about Ellie? What does Ellie do?
I think Ellie would she'd take a moment to inspect it, noticing the skull-like pattern on the face, and she'd say, "I think you and I got a lot more in common than you think." And the buckler that's sort of like hooked into her arm, the sun would hit it at a way that shows the skull and crossbones that are like sort of entwined, this iridescent glow. And then she would look over to Bo and see him feeding his unicorn, so she would reach in and grab one of those fruits that she had, that she smuggled from that table, and would hold it out.
Yeah. Same thing. I think your unicorn, there's a strange standoff for a moment between the two of you as you kind of oddly understand each other. This unicorn is the Ellie of the unicorns, and you are the Ellie of the group, and there's an understanding between the two of you in that oddly antisocial way for a moment before you provide it with some food, and it takes the food and you realize that there is an understanding now between you. However, you do need to successfully mount the unicorn as you plan to ride these things out of here, right? So, I need acrobatics checks to try and jump.
I'm an old woman.
Yes, you are.
Perhaps it will lean down.
Perhaps it will. Let's find out.
Oh, yes, it does.
Okay, who am I missing? Aura?
Me. Yeah, do I get advantage or no?
Yes. You get advantage with everything because they're Celestials. So,
Okay.
24, 21, and 18. Describe how you get onto your unicorn. How do you guys get up there? There's no saddles, right? This isn't like you would traditionally jump up on a horse via a saddle. Has anyone got any ideas?
Yes, mine will just lower down and kind of to the ground. And I just literally lift a leg and plop right on it. Oh, thank you. And then it stands right back up.
Stands back up and starts to move around with you on the back of this thing, holding on to a mane. What about you, Aura?
I get close to my unicorn and it pops up its front leg behind to make a step for me to get up onto its back. And so I step on its leg and I hoist myself over and just start, I like lay down on it and kind of give it a hug just instinctively. And then I'll stand up and start like running my hand through its mane.
And same thing, I think you it takes a moment to adjust. It's a little wobbly at first, but you feel pretty comfortable. And Ellie?
I think that after it's finished eating the fruit that she offered, she'd run her hands like along the black fur, and it'd be warm because he's been in the sun. And then she would just Legolas it, where she would just like flip herself onto it. But it wouldn't be like, she doesn't weigh a lot, so it wouldn't be like this big burden that lands on him. And then she would just like sit there and wait while she watches the others.
Yeah, it's like nothing. These things are big. They're very strong. You can tell that they're like stallion level of horse, right? They're big, they're strong, they're powerful. You can tell that there's a lot of muscle. Bo, you fail, and you get thrown. But what
miserably, yeah.
What happens?
I probably don't even get thrown. So you see, this is what happened.
Yeah.
I've never ridden a horse before, let alone a unicorn. So I walk behind the unicorn and try to get up from there.
Yeah, and
but
you
instead I get kicked.
You get kicked. Roll me a dexterity saving throw. $15 is... Well, actually, I guess I need to roll. Wow, okay, so that's a 19. Yeah, you're gonna get kicked. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm gonna roll 2d6 plus 4. You take 13 bludgeoning damage as you are cartoonishly hit by the back legs of this unicorn, and you are launched into a nearby tree. Boom! The bark kind of explodes and you slide down the tree. The unicorn kind of does 3 circles, kind of huffing a little bit, kind of upset with you, and then moves over towards where you are. You feel an energy suddenly build around you and coming from this unicorn. You see the top of the unicorn's horn crackle with energy, and then there's a bright light, and all 3 of you see this light. But for you, Bo, it's very close to where you are, and even the shades don't really block the light as it leans down and it touches the tip of your head with the edge of its horn, and it heals you up. Or, ding, 7 healing. You feel the unicorn kind of nuzzle the side of your head after it touches your forehead with the horn. And then this huge unicorn face appears next to you and kind of nuzzles your cheek. And it's kind of rough and it's kind of heavy. Like this is a unicorn that you don't mess with. Roll me an animal handling check again. A 6.
I'm not good with animals.
The unicorn isn't good with people, and you're not good with animals. And in a way, you're the perfect match. This unicorn is sorry for what it's done, but the unicorn also knows that you're bad at dealing with unicorns. You can now get up on top of the unicorn. How do you do it?
I very hesitantly approach. I try to be as gentle as I can as I raise myself on the unicorn and prop myself up. And I'm very stiff on the unicorn.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to piss off Joanne anymore.
And the unicorn seems very uncomfortable with you there, but there's a particular kinship between you as the unicorn is not happy about what's happening necessarily, but also oddly okay with it. There is a moment as you kind of get used to being on the back of this unicorn as it starts to move around. The unicorn kind of looks up at you and gives you a particular look, but it's a look that suggests that you're okay to be there. The 4 of you have unicorns now. What is the names of your unicorns? What do you want to name them?
Oh my god.
We already know one. We have Joanne, the giant, probably male stallion unicorn that Bo is on.
Mine would be named Zach.
Nice.
I'd name mine Heartbeat.
Nice.
I think mine already has a name, and I just know what it is. I don't name it myself. And I don't know what that is yet.
That's fine.
I'll be the second.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not naming it. It already has a name. I just don't know what it is yet.
Right. Yeah, and that can also be what the name is, by the way. You can just know the name.
Yes, all right. I just know its name.
As you guys are kind of on these unicorns and getting to know them and getting to feel a little more comfortable as they start to slowly move around, you notice that the other unicorns that were here, the 20 or so that were around, kind of move away a little bit as the 4 of you kind of on your own unicorns get used to what you're dealing with. Who had wings? Did all of them have wings?
Yeah, mine does.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can feel that the wings outstretching on these unicorns as they get used to having you there, and you all hear that voice again that you heard at the entrance of the forest. Again, it's Myliki, the forest queen. This is coming from the trees, not from the unicorns. You hear Myliki say,
You have found friends, not just in the unicorns, but in spring, summer, and autumn. But there is no friend to be found in winter. Winter prefers to be cold and alone. Prepare yourselves as you fly now to the mountain, for she is a cold mistress, and her trials will not be of the friendly sort.
the unicorns suddenly kick into motion. They start running.
I'm going to die.
Each one suddenly starts moving at its full speed, continuing west in the same direction that you were kind of moving originally. They suddenly run, and each of you grabs onto the mane or the back of your own unicorn as it begins to move and jerks left and right in between the trees, swiftly but more agile than you probably expected from these really large creatures. They run, and as they do so, you notice that it creates a sort of shimmering shield around itself, a sort of magical field of energy that helps to keep you stable as soon as it ensconces you. Suddenly, they burst forth from the forest into an open plain of yellowed grass stretching outwards. These unicorns then suddenly hit their full gallop, their full speed, and they are running across these fields. You feel all of their wings outstretch, and then suddenly their legs are running through empty air as they move upwards and into the air. The air around you rushing becomes cold and colder. The area below you slips away, but before you lies a frozen mountainscape, and the unicorns intend to take you to the peak of winter, and that is the end of our session today. Thanks for playing. The Brony episode. You're welcome. And of course I have all girls for the unicorn episode of my D&D.
Yeah, I'm a man.
I know, I gave you some real classic gender role stuff there, and I'm sorry. But I wanted unicorns as well, if that helps.
I mean, you let me have a heavy metal unicorn,
Yeah.
so...
The best game ever was that robot unicorn attack. You remember that?
Yep.
That was
Always.
the best.
I wanna be with you.
Yes. The My Little Pony episode is done, but that also ends summer and autumn, and next week you fly to winter on the backs of unicorns from a celestial grove of animals after eating celestial fruit and having a day on the beach. What a fun episode. We'll do a quick round of shout-outs, and then we'll let y'all get out of here. Just a reminder before you all bounce, we have a new show starting tomorrow, which is a Horizon Zero Dawn inspired show run by Domestic Dan. That starts at the same time as this show does, which is 4 Eastern on this channel. So don't miss that. Bookmark it. We'll see you tomorrow night. Quick round of shout-outs, starting with Unicorn 1, Katie Peters Plays. How's it
Hello.
going? Where can people find you? What are you up to?
They can find me at Katie Peters.
Peter?
Why?
Peter Peters Plays.
Why? I just
Top of
don't
the morning.
understand.
Peter Peters Plays here. Coming at you live from Ireland.
So you can find me there at Katie Peters Plays on Twitch and Play Katie Play on Twitter. Thank you all for watching. I don't know. This world is magical and I never want to leave, and I kind of want to move and live there in real life. So if you can make that happen, I would really appreciate that, Brad.
I'll do my best. This is actually the best I can do, I think, but I'll do my best.
But yeah, so that's me. Thank you guys for watching, and it's always fun RPing. I missed this the last 2 weeks, so this is really fun today. It was good to be back.
What about you, Disby?
Hi, thanks for all the fun today, everybody, and thanks for watching today's episode. I'm DisbyRx. You can find me here at Twitch at the same handle, DisbyRx, and I do a lot of roleplay on the side in other video games such as Red Dead Redemption 2, and I do like horror games as well. If you like that sort of thing, yeah, come and hang out.
And I will do exactly that. What about you, Pocket? Where people finding you and stuff in the week, if anywhere? Because you're...
I should be back to streaming this week. I will again have to take a break when the house actually goes into closing and I have to move out. They kick me out of here. But that's sort of what I've been up to. But I'll be back to streaming probably... I don't even know what I'll stream. More Terraria? I was having a lot of fun on that. So find me at twitch.tv/Pocket or on Twitter @Pocket to keep up with what I'm doing. And I had a lot of fun today. Thanks, Brad. I feel like Ellie's just becoming the angsty older sister.
Yeah. You're like, God, what was Sasuke's brother called? You don't know. You've never seen Naruto. Well, you're him. What about you, PB?
Hi, I'm Pumpkinberry, and you can find me at Twitch and Twitter at Pumpkinberry. And in all the years of playing Dungeons and Dragons, I have never actually seen a unicorn before. That was fucking magical. Also, Archimedes.
Mm-hmm.
I actually cried on break. That's why we were a little late coming back, because I had an emotional moment. What? 2 weeks off, and then I come back to this glorious episode. I'm gonna get emotional again.
If you want to know who Archimedes is, go and watch Darkfire. He was in that, which was the D&D show I ran before.
I
this
knew
one.
instantly. Oh my god.
Had to be, man. You know what I mean? It had to be. Where else would he be? yes, many Easter eggs in this entire campaign. This is my third campaign that I've run in this setting that I made up myself and made all the rules myself about. So there's a few Easter eggs that you can find if you want to watch all of our other stuff. You can watch my other rubbish games if you want. They're in playlists on YouTube, or you can find them on the collections and stuff here. We've got all sorts of games throughout the week. Again, remember there's a new show tomorrow. Don't miss it on this channel. And we've got all sorts of other stuff going on. Shows starting to pop up every night. Are we out of days yet? No, we got Thursdays and Saturdays. So you can take Thursdays and Saturdays off to play. Oh, I don't know. What about Fallen Stars? Resident mod and one of the many creatures that lives in my house, young Noodle Leaf, who is always here helping us out with the streams and has been doing all sorts of things behind the scenes for many years for Tablestory, made his own tabletop RPG game. It's called Fallen Stars. And these are his words, a brand new dark fantasy survival horror tabletop RPG focusing on surviving while a horde of creatures attacks. There's sanity, magic, necromancy, and everything comes at a cost. There's also trees, if you like trees. It's very good. It's entirely original, made by Noodle. There is a link in the chat to the Drive-Thru RPG link, the product. It's called Fallen Stars Core Rulebook, and if you're listening or you're watching elsewhere, I'll put links to it in the descriptions and stuff, but if you just want to Google it yourself, Fallen Stars Core Rulebook by Leith Brownlee. I recommend going and looking at it. It's legit. Maybe we'll run one. Maybe we'll run a session of it at some point here.
It was pretty terrifying because the way he ran it when we play tested it was an actual hour before the horde arrived, and we sat there and we were like planning and doing all of our stuff, and then we had to
boarding
wait,
up a church,
and I was like,
I think.
oh god. It was very, very stressful.
It's got a really, really good horde mode in it.
Yes.
But you can.
And we all died, didn't we?
I think we did all die. It was pretty
Somebody
horrific.
fell out the window.
Someone fell out the window and it was over.
That's right.
We tried to save them. It's very good. It's called Fallen Stars, and it was made by Noodle. And go check it out if you want to check it out. I think that's it for announcements, right?
Yes.
See you on tomorrow for our new show.
New show, then Tuesday for Witchcraft and Wizardry, Wednesday for Gone, Friday for Facade.
That's right. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week when things get a little colder. All this fun in the sun is being replaced as you head to the cold mountain peaks of winter and whomever waits atop that mountain. Here is another trailer, Forgotten Lands tomorrow. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace out. Bye.